Ford Motor Company to cut 3,800 jobs in Europe in the coming several years.
It's an attempt to streamline its operations as the automaker contends with economic challenges and increasing competition on electric cars. Ford says 2,300 jobs will be eliminated in Germany, 1,300 in the United Kingdom, and 200 elsewhere on the continent. The company says it's looking for, quote, a leaner, more competitive cost structure for Ford in Europe.
Correspondent Jeremy House. Nearly doubled natural gas taxes with a long-stalled financial bailout, raising concerns that the hardship could pass to consumers in the impoverished South Asian country. The government's bid to revive a $6 billion bailout from the International Monetary Fund hiked the price of natural gas for domestic and industrial consumers from 16% to 112%. Townhall.com. Rescuers in Turkey have found more survivors on the 8th day after the big earthquakes, but the window to find people still alive is rapidly closing.
A week after the powerful earthquakes hit Turkey and Syria, rescuers clap when reaching people alive under the rubble. In hard-hit Adıyaman province, rescuers saved an 18-year-old boy, giving him an IV with fluids before extracting him from a crumbling building. And in badly affected Kahramanmaraş, 2 others, including a 17-year-old, were pulled out from a destroyed building. But survivors are few, and the death toll, now at 35,000, is starting to increase as teams find more bodies. I'm Mimi Montgomery.
Ukraine renewing its appeal to Western nations for fighter jets to help frustrate Moscow's invasion. However, the U.S. has said no to fighter jets for Ukraine. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome to it.
Second day of the rest of your life, and happy Valentine's.
It is. It is Valentine's Day.
Or happy Singles Awareness Day.
Happy Sad Day. Singles Awareness Day for those who...
Singles Awareness Day to you and to yours.
Yeah. Or, depending on your proclivities on what you like or not, could be a good day for you. Maybe you're like, I don't have to worry about running around and buying cards and candy and flowers and all that mess.
Like, while I'm watching all my friends, kind of scramble around making things work. And props to them because, Valentine's Day, if you do it right, it can be, it's like those hills can sing. It can be perfect. But while they're doing that, I'm just, you guys go ahead. I'll be here.
I'm kind of in the other part of the comfortable spectrum there.
In that you've been married for long enough?
I've been married for 20 years now. So, I don't have to. So we plan.
You don't have to.
Well, we plan.
But it's also one of those things where it's like, you don't have to, but you probably should.
No, here's the move. The move is, because you know what tonight's going to be like at any restaurant. Anywhere.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, it's going to be a madhouse. So Kim and I went and had dinner last night.
Okay, nice.
And then this weekend, we're going to go do a lunch and a movie thing as kind of a date thing. And so we're turning our Valentine's into two separate things.
Into a
neither
weekend.
one of them on actual Valentine's.
I like it.
But and that way we avoid all the craziness. We don't worry about running around looking for cards and things. And we just do what the holiday is
now I know
not meant to do is not buy cards and candy and spend it with your actual partner.
Right. Now I know the maneuver, not your maneuver, because your maneuver is a different thing entirely.
Yeah, it's a different maneuver.
But I know the maneuver is not to go out on Valentine's Day, but to say, you know what? What do you want to eat? I'm going to make it for you.
I've done that.
That's the real move.
Yeah.
That's like the chivalrous move.
Unless you can't cook, then that move is not a tool you have in the tool belt.
Right.
But in this day and age, you can DoorDash.
Here's what I think. If somebody in this day and age is going to sit here and say I can't cook, that person is not willing to try. Because I would argue that as many internet videos and tutorials and step-by-step instructions are out there. If I can make butter chicken from scratch, which I have, anybody can cook.
I would say yes.
I'm relatively inept, and I pulled it off.
I would say yes, but then I've also seen videos and things on the internet, and I've seen people cook things that they think are amazing things that I'm pretty sure they would not serve to prisoners on death row.
I don't know what's happening on the internet. I mean, I do. People are doing it for the views and for clout and for the TikTok whatever fame. Yeah. It's infuriating to me that there is a whole trend of people who are doing cooking videos where they're making macaroni and cheese or spaghetti or some kind of lasagna dish in their sinks.
No.
I know. It's the worst thing ever. But I've been watching this video. The other day, I watched somebody make macaroni and cheese in their toilet. And I'm like, what is going on in your world? What happened? I know they're doing it just they're not going to eat the food. I can't imagine they would. But they were mixing macaroni and cheese with hot dogs, which, by the way, is a whole other food crime, in the toilet. I think people are doing these videos specifically so that other people will do videos reacting to what they're doing.
Sure, because certainly if you have a toilet.
Oh, my God.
You have some kind of access to a pot and a heat source.
And that was the infuriating thing is I watched somebody take a full pot of macaroni, macaroni noodles, inside of a pot where they could have completed the dish and poured that macaroni into the sink.
Yeah.
What is wrong with you?
Now, I get if you don't have these things and you're in a hotel room and you're making grilled cheese with a ironing board and an iron or spaghetti with a coffee pot or something. Sure. But yeah, I mean,
there's a limit,
Well, now they're trying to turn prison ingenuity into a lifestyle, and you're like, there's a reason they have other equipment. It's you shouldn't go to prison and then just use the things you're
That's a
supposed to.
whole other subsection of TikTok is learning how to make food like they do in prison.
Yeah,
and I've learned some things, dude.
I bet
you can make Laffy Taffy out of coffee creamer. I had no idea.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I thought they're busy making drugs and stuff, not like children's candy.
No, they're sitting around figuring out ways to induce diabetes.
Hey, you got the Smarties.
Yo, Bunky, you want some of that Laffy Taffy? Sure do, make me some. I got you.
Oh, you want extra yard time? That's going to cost you 6 Kit Kats.
What's great is these videos are get the trusty to kick back some of the ice from rec time.
Man, this conversation shifted quickly.
It certainly has.
Happy Valentine's Day.
That's right.
Where we were going with that one.
That's right.
So.
Speaking of legality.
Yeah, that's right. Matt Bristol will be joining us here.
Yeah.
Let's see if he's got a few prison recipes for people.
I don't like the fact that he's taking notes right now. I like that.
But Matt Bristol
He's
is going to join us
like
just
a trial.
He pops in once a month and gives us sage legal advice. The complete opposite of everything we just told you for the last 5 minutes. And so we'll talk with Matt here in just a bit. In the 8 o'clock hour, about 8:15 or so, we're going to have the folks in the Chaves County Extension Office join us. I believe it'll be Tamara Schubert and Drew Garnett, and they'll give us an update on events and things that they've got coming up. Of course, as we're getting into the late winter, early spring time, a lot going on at the Extension Office. So we'll get the updates from them. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, about 9:15, Andrew Moore at the Roswell Chamber will join us, give us an update there. I think she's bringing a guest, too, but I don't remember who it is. So We'll find out in the 9 o'clock hour when she joins us. And then, of course, we'll have all of your features that include the news of the local and national variety. See if any more balloons showed up anywhere or anything like that.
That's so weird. We're shooting down UFOs now. Like that's what 2023 is.
Allegedly.
The future, kids. We're shooting down UFOs. And one of the missiles missed.
Now all of a sudden everyone's like, oh, yeah, we've had balloons for years. And the Chinese are saying, we've seen a bunch of American balloons. What are you talking about? It's just,
right. We have a whole fiesta devoted to them.
That's right. That's right. I'm just saying, maybe we can bring one of these spy balloons on display at the
That
balloon
would be
fiesta.
fantastic. Is just I'm picturing like the Darth Vader special shapes just floating over like Beijing. Just American spy balloon.
That's when they should have made their move. It just blended right in.
That's it.
But
is that a Death Star special shapes balloon? Sure is. Mind on business.
Nothing to see here. All right. It is 7:14. Let's go ahead and get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We have a high wind warning in effect today for gusts as high as 60 miles per hour. With that strong low pressure system moving through, we will get sunshine and fairly mild daytime highs in the mid 60s. Just watch out for that gusty wind. Well, the overnight hours, partly cloudy, cool, and breezy, are low in the mid 30s. Then we may get a shower or two tomorrow. Our afternoon high going up to 50 and windy. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 39 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 60%. Winds currently out of the southwest, 15, gusting to 22. Today, I'll give you the good news first. Sunny and 64. 60s. That's the good news. Rest of it, not so much. Winds are going to be up out of the west this morning, 20 to 25 miles per hour. That's where they're starting. They're later going to increase 30 to 35, gusting as high as 45 later today. Tonight, mostly clear with an overnight low of 34 degrees. South winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. Wednesday, we have a slight chance it's rain showers before 11. Mostly sunny otherwise. Highs only near 50, so we're going to see about a 15-degree difference from today to tomorrow. Cooler, not warmer. Winds are going to be, believe it or not, even blowing harder tomorrow. Southwest 15 to 25, then increasing out of the west 25 to 35, but we could see wind gusts as high as 50 miles per hour tomorrow. Tomorrow night, partly expect some patchy blowing snow before 11. Otherwise, mostly clear with an overnight low of 21. Winds will be out of the west 10 to 15 miles per hour. Thursday, winds calm down, still remains cool. Sunny, 44 for a high. North winds 5 to 10. Friday, increasing clouds, but highs near 50. And then for the weekend, a little bit nicer. Mostly sunny, highs back near 60. Sunny on Sunday as well, highs near 68. And then we'll be pushing 70 on Monday with a President's Day at breezy. So winds will be lingering around. Maybe they forgot it's not spring yet. I don't know. Anyway, it's 7:16. We're going to take a quick commercial break. And then we're going to have Matt Bristol, Bristol Law Office, join us on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Good morning. This is Smiley Wooten at the Roswell Livestock Auction. 1,516 head of cattle sold on Monday on the higher market with excellent buyer attendance. Compared to last week, stocker calves sold 10 to 20 higher. Feeder cattle steady to 5 higher. Packer cows and bulls $5 to $10 higher. 3 to 400 pound steers $246, $254. 3 to 400 pound heifers $211, $218. 4 to 500 pound steers $235, $254. 4 to 500 pound heifers $190, $211. 5 to 600 pound steers $196, $235. 5 to 600 pound heifers $170, $190. 6 700 pound steers $175, $196. 6 to 700 pound heifers $155, $170. 7 800 pound steers $165, $50, $175. 7 800 pound heifers $140, $155. Packer cows $88 to $1. Canner and cutter cows $75 to $80. Packer bulls $95 to $111. Feeder bulls $78 to $88. Top half the cow-calf pairs $1,200 to $1,550 per pair. Top half the bred cows $1,000 to $1,525 per head. Expecting another good run of cattle for next week. We'll talk to you next Monday morning. This is Smiley Wooten, Roswell Livestock Auction.
Life can be full of risks. One thing you shouldn't take a risk with ever is your family's health insurance. If you're self-employed or you now need affordable health insurance, you need to make this free call right now and see how the Health Insurance Helpline can help you get it. We specialize in helping the self-employed and people just like you that need affordable health insurance to get it. We have short and long-term health insurance plans, and some even cover dental, vision, and prescription drugs. Don't take a risk with your family's health insurance. It's not worth it. If you're self-employed or now need affordable health insurance, call right now and learn for free how to get it. Listen, affordable health insurance plans for everyone just like you are a free phone call away. So give us a shout right now.
800-503-3735. 800-503-3735. 800-503-3735. That's 800-503-3735.
Eastern New Mexico University in Portales is proud to offer potential students the opportunity to attend ENMU tuition-free with the New Mexico Opportunity Scholarship. And now we are proud to announce the newly created Freshman Hound Housing Room Grant, which will allow students the opportunity to receive up to $3,000 per year off their housing costs when living on the ENMU campus. For more information on how ENMU is making higher education more affordable for you and your family members, visit enmu.edu. Eastern New Mexico University. Student success. That's what we're about.
Jennifer from Trustmark Roofing here, and I can tell you it's not always easy being a female in a male-dominated business like roofing. I remember one time I was at a meeting to bid on the roof for a local college, and it was me and 13 men. Well, I won that bid, and I'd like to win your business too. My dad was a contractor, and I've been around building and roofing my whole life. I'm licensed and bonded, and I've forgotten more about roofing than most roofers ever knew in the first place. But what really sets Trustmark apart is an obsessive attention to detail that ensures that everything goes smoothly the first time. I promise we will treat you right with respect and we will make you happy. So yeah, it might be a bit odd for a woman to own a roofing company, but give us a try. Let us give you an estimate for your roof. I think you'll be glad you called. For all your roofing needs, call us at 575-755-ROOF or find us online at TrustmarkRoofPros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
If you plug your nose, you can't tell the difference between an apple, potato, and an onion, unless you open your eyes. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 20 minutes after 7 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from the fourth floor, Bristol Law Office, Matt Bristol with us this morning. Morning, Matt.
Morning, Mike. How you doing?
Doing great. For folks not familiar, Matt joins us once a month to give us sage legal advice. Generally, we talk, of course, Matt, when he's practicing, his day job is practicing law here. He kind of focuses on family law and things like that. So a lot of his practice deals with, not only the good side, wills and adoptions and that kind of thing, but also the bad side, the divorces and stuff. But he sees it all. So, when he speaks from a place of experience, because he's seen so many couples and things go through these things. And so each month we talk about things that you say, if you want to avoid paying Matt for divorce stuff, maybe here's some things you can do. And so we have these conversations each month, just kind of giving people advice on how to navigate some of this kind of stuff. So,
and how was your weekend, Mike?
Good. How about yourself?
Good.
Were you were you into the Super Bowl, and did the team you were rooting for win?
Well, actually, the Wednesday before, I was in Rotary, and somebody asked me who I thought I was going to win the Super Bowl, and I had to ask him who was playing.
So you didn't really have a dog in that fight.
I did not have a dog in that fight, no. But my godson and his brother were in town. So,
okay. Were they football fans?
No, they're just coming down to visit. It happened to be the Safari Club banquet weekend.
Okay.
So I took them Friday and Saturday. And Saturday, they want to go skeet shooting before the banquet. So
nice.
We went out, shot about 50 rounds. I think they broke maybe 2 or 3 clay pigeons.
Oh, so it was more getting outdoors and saving money on the pigeons, I guess.
Yeah.
We spent a lot of money on shot, but save some money on the pigeons. Of course, they land gently so you can reuse them.
Yeah, they had a good time, but they're a little frustrating for them, I think.
Oh, well. It's just, some days are your days, some days aren't, It is what it is.
It is what it is, yep.
But, Well, good. Well, I'm glad they got to at least have a good time and come. And even if they didn't get to dust in pigeons, or at least not many of them, then maybe next time.
Maybe next time. And are you going to cook Valentine's dinner for Kim? Or
Well, we kind of did the preview thing. So we went out last night and had nice dinner. Tonight we're just gonna we'll fix a dinner together. That's how usually we do it. So but then Saturday we're gonna go see a movie and probably do another lunch or something. So we kind of broke it into two dates, and because neither one of us wanted to go out to dinner tonight or do anything with
Why have a Valentine's Day when you have a Valentine week?
There you go. See, now we look like rock stars, and I actually did less work.
Yeah, so what if you don't have Sean cook dinner for you? Macaroni and cheese. Oh, no. Where did they cook that?
I don't need his toilet gourmets. The porcelain cuisine of his pairings. Don't need that.
No, not at all. Well, I worked my way through college and law school cooking in restaurants.
Okay, so you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
You can cook a meal. You can. Did you woo your wife with some of your culinary skills?
Some, yeah.
Good deal.
Cook
and he hunts too, so he can catch his own food and cook it. So.
That's right. The modern man, right?
That's right. Go out and put some deer pee on me and go catch me some deer, and then I come home and turn it into a nice, 4-star dinner here.
There you go.
Well, if you don't have those skills, then I guess you better get reservations at a restaurant here tonight. So
yeah, and hurry up.
Yes,
as soon as they open. Yeah.
Although, I've been through quite a few Valentine's days. You can find a nice romantic meal at Sonic and McDonald's if you work hard enough. But be smarter and don't have to get to that effort.
Well, that Sonic green chili cheeseburger is kind of hard to beat.
That's right. And then you pair that with a shake or a blizzard or something, or a
lager.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, stout whiskey. Absolutely. Yep. So, very good. So, but like I said, Matt joins us once a month here, and we kind of we talk sage legal advice, whether it's planning for wills, when to start the wills, or what could be even hey. How much? Who do you have a plan if someone drops dead tomorrow? And that's I hate to put it so bluntly, but that's exactly what it is. If say the head of the household doesn't wake up tomorrow morning, is there a plan in place on how to take care of and handle things? And if you don't have that plan in place, you might want to start thinking about doing that.
Well, and if you don't have a plan, then the state has one for you.
Yes.
And it may or may not be what you want, particularly in a second marriage. But I get a lot of people in, and they've lost a loved one or family member, and they ask, well, do we, I need to probate, so-and-so's estate. And so my first question is always, why do you think that?
Right.
Because you may or may not need to.
Sure.
So probate is not something that's always required, and I think that surprises a lot of people. So sometimes you need it, sometimes you don't.
So generally, what's some of the qualifiers or non-qualifier, or basically some of the things that get you out of having to go to probate?
Well, that's a good question, and that's basically you're asking, well, what is probate? Why do we have it? What does it do? What's its function? And that's a very common question because people don't have an experience with this until someone passes, and that's not something that happens on a regular basis.
And let's face it, it is a bit macabre to be thinking about stuff like this all the time, and so, we're not saying focus on it, but at the same time, have a plan.
Yeah. So probate is the court process for the orderly flow of assets. And so people still give me a blank look, kind of, when I tell them that.
It's like, okay.
Yeah. What does that mean in English?
Right.
So, for example, a bank account. Okay, so let's pretend Sean's a single guy. I don't know if he is or not, but let's pretend
he is now. Yes.
Okay. So Sean's a single guy, and he's got a bank account, and he passes away. And so he got a sister, say, and his sister goes to the bank and says, yeah, my brother Sean passed, and, I need to get the bank account. And the bank's going to say, don't think so. We don't know who you are.
Gotcha.
We don't know if there's a second sister.
Sure.
We don't know anything about you.
Hey, I'm his sister too.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. 24 sisters all show up at once.
Right, exactly.
I'm the girlfriend. So the bank says, no, we're not going to pay anybody anything. You go to probate court, probate the estate, and then the bank will make the check payable to the estate of Sean.
Gotcha.
And so they've paid the right legal entity. And then if it's mishandled after that, the bank's in the clear.
Gotcha.
So they're not going to pay just anybody that walks up who raises their hand, says, I swear.
The people that went to the probate's fault on delineating the correct person to get it. So
yeah. So
it's out of the bank's legal worries.
Yeah. So it's always a third party that's going to make you do a probate. In this case, would be the bank.
Gotcha.
We're not paying you the money.
So that's insurance for the bank, basically, on saying, hey, we're going to bequeath this out. We're not accidentally getting it to the wrong person and then getting sued later for that.
Right. Exactly. They won't get sued for paying the wrong person.
Mm-hmm.
Now, so one way to avoid that particular thing, and there's different tricks to avoid different things. So for, in this instance, a bank account, there's a statute that says if there's a small estate defined as being less than $50,000 or $60,000, then Sean's sister can do an affidavit that the entire estate is worth less than the statutory amount. Sean's passed more than 30 days, attached as a copy of the death certificate, and she used that to get the money from the bank.
Okay.
I mean, how many of us have $50,000 in the bank? Nobody.
No,
right?
not really. No.
So they can go in, get the $5,000 savings account, $1,000 in checking, because otherwise the probate's going to cost nearly that much, and it's just silly. So the statute also says the bank can rely on that affidavit, and if the affidavit's wrong, the bank cannot get sued.
Okay.
So it covers the bank.
Gotcha.
So it's a nice process where when grandma's got $1,500 in the bank, you don't have to spend $3,000 on a probate to get the $1,500.
Gotcha.
And even if some grandchild lied, the bank's not going to get sued over $1,500.
Right. Not exactly a bankruptcy-laden lawsuit there.
Yeah,
but
that's a really nice thing.
Yeah, but so basically, if the estate is not really worth that much, that's where you can kind of avoid the probate here.
Right. So, but you have to be careful. So it says if the entire estate. So that begs the question: what's the estate?
It's pretty much all the assets, right?
Well, your estate is what you own at the moment you die.
Yeah.
So Mike and Kim own their house as joint tenants right of survivorship.
Mm-hmm.
So when Mike passes away, how much of that house do you own?
Well, if my wife's still alive, none of it.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. The house is not part of the estate.
Yeah.
So that's not part of is the estate under $50,000 because the house is no longer part of the estate.
Gotcha.
Now we're just looking at bank accounts.
Gotcha.
So at the moment you pass, the house goes to Kim automatically. Yeah.
Now, if we both die, say together, then the house becomes part of the estate.
Right.
Got it.
Yeah,
but as long as there's still an owner alive, then it just gets full ownership to that whoever's on the deed, basically.
If it's owned as joint tenants right of survivorship.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay. So between a husband and wife, if one of you pass, of course, the other one, you want the other one to own the house because you want them to stay in the house. But if you and your sister were buying a piece of property, then you might want Kim to have your half of that property.
I gotcha. So that way it does become part of. So you have to be marital partners or whatever.
Or joint tenants.
Joint tenants. Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. So if it's a brother and sister that bought the property together,
then they might not be joint tenants because they want their other spouse or their children to inherit. Like the family farm.
Sure.
Okay. So Mike and sister on the family farm is what are called tenants in common.
Gotcha.
Because you want your kids to get your half the family farm. She wants her kids to get her half the family farm.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So the ownership can be when I die, I can will it away, or when I die, it automatically goes to my co-owner.
So basically, if you're in a scenario like that, get your will in order. That way, that'll make sure to the absolute nth degree, whatever assets you want to go to where they go to where they're supposed to go.
Well, especially in a second marriage.
Yeah, because that's when it gets into the weeds sometimes on property or wealth accrued through this marriage versus this marriage, and all right, now there's more kids. Which kids get which inheritance? Do the kids that are half brothers get more? And so that's where it gets in the weeds a little bit.
It's terribly in the weeds because, especially in a short marriage, so you've been married 10 years, husband passes, and his kids want his stuff that he had pre-marriage.
Yeah.
Well, if you've only been married 10 years, there's probably a lot of stuff he had pre-marriage.
Sure.
But if it's a 30-year marriage and husband passes and kids say, well, we got the stuff Dad owned pre-marriage, it's like, well, nothing we have is older than 30 years old. It's all been replaced over time.
So you weren't around for that,
So now the kids say, well, we want, Dad's pictures or Dad's clothes or whatever. And it's like, yeah, well, all that occurred after the marriage, and community property goes to the surviving spouse when there's no will.
Yeah.
So, it gets messy, but it's good to have a will for that kind of stuff. And in fact, in the will, you can attach a little piece of paper that says, these are the people who get certain specific items of what is called personal property.
Mm-hmm.
So the shotgun, the grandma's quilt, the family Bible, the old Army uniform. So you can have a list of who gets what.
And not to a complex degree, but, I kind of experienced a little of that with my father. My mom and my father, they were married for 20 plus years. That was my mom growing up, and that was my mom in the household. Well, after my brother and I left the house, my parents got divorced. And my mom passed away in 2003. My dad, it's weird timing that they got divorced. My mom, before my father remarried, she passed. And so my father remarried, and they were together and had 2 kids. They had 2 kids. So I have 2 sisters that are, one's a freshman in high school now, one's in middle school. So, and I'm 50, but I know it's a little Jerry Springer. But anyway. but my father died from cancer a few years ago. And so, it wasn't complicated, but, when my dad died, there wasn't really assets for my brother and I, because, not that I was looking for him, but because he still had the daughter and married, the house, all that. Right. Now, granted, we have excellent relationships. There's no squabble. So they were like, here's some of Dad's mementos thing. They just, we all shared and didn't make it a legal issue. We all just said, here's pictures. Here's things you gave your dad years ago. Here they are back. Things like, it was all copacetic. But, that could have been one of those scenarios where it could have gotten the weeds had, say, my brother or someone got a little ornery about, why is Dad's this going to them? And, and fortunately we have a family that, I would say we're mature, because we're not. We're all immature. But we were mature enough to handle this like adults. And everyone was cool with it. No one was out looking for a payday or looking to screw anybody.
Yeah, I had a similar situation. Dad remarried and had another child who was in, I think, junior high, middle school when he passed. And he left everything to wife and the minor child.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was an adult.
Sure.
I had a job. I had a career. I didn't need the money.
Right.
So I just asked stepmom, there's some personal property things.
Keepsakes that you'd like to.
Keepsakes, yeah.
They're important to you.
Yeah, but I didn't say I want part of the life insurance or I want part of this. There's no sense in being money grubbing, and there was no legal entitlement to it anyway.
And actually, Dad, a little bit, there was some life insurance, and he, earmarked a little bit for my brother and I. So, I mean, it wasn't, I'm still working, so it wasn't that much, but it was, it was a nice thing. So it's not like Dad did not take care of us or anything. But like you said, with a whole, basically another marriage and another family set up, it really adds a few different lines to that will or whatever to make sure that all bases are covered there. And that's why, and if you're in one of those scenarios, that's probably when you really need to sit down and talk with an attorney and say, okay, what do you want to do exactly? And then the attorney, Matt, can do it, or, whoever can sit down and say, all right, this is how we do that and protect everybody and cover everyone's bases and make sure everyone, and quite frankly, if your relationship's good, and we've talked about this, make sure the closest partners are in on the what you're going on, and make sure they're informed. And that way, if you're not keeping something from somebody in the family, that generally keeps it from getting nasty if everyone is on the same page.
Yeah. You should bring all the kids in at the same time, tell them the same story of if you're going to divvy it up equally, great. If it's going to be unequal, then you tell them now so they can make their own arrangements.
Yeah.
But you tell everybody up front ahead of time, this is the way it's going to be, so there's no surprises.
And I'm guessing, that yes, everyone in theory is like, equally, but life happens, and we all know certain relatives do better than others, and so a lot of times people want to take care of the relatives that maybe don't do as better on this, and so I'm going to hook them up more because, well, you're doing fine, and so that logic comes into play, and and if you're not cool with that, then you should at least get that hammered out before you die, and then they try to go figure it out in courts and everything.
Yeah, so at least give the kids a heads up that if they're not going to get as much as someone else, at least while you're alive, explain it.
Exactly.
And then give them the opportunity to, maybe I better save a little bit more in this retirement account.
But, there's always you got the brother or sister that, can't keep the job and everything's so I'm going to leave them the house because you guys have houses, that kind of thing.
That kind of thing. Then I've had people say, they wanted to leave a little special something to this child, to this grandchild, but they're worried that maybe the executor of the estate won't take care of things the way they want them to. And so I say, there's a fix for that. Mm-hmm. So you can get a little savings account and put out whatever money you want the special grandchild to have. And then instead of the bank saying go to probate court, you put POD. So POD is payable on death.
Okay.
And you name the grandchild or child or the special
So it's basically like a special bequeathing.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like if almost like if you gave it to them when they're alive, like you said.
Well, almost better than that.
Okay.
Because while you're alive, they can't touch it.
Okay.
It's payable on death.
Gotcha.
They can't get their grubby
So if you got a
little
special
mitts on.
ring or something like that, you want to bequeath them, you're like, I'm still wearing it, but when I die, it goes to you.
Well, safe deposit box.
Okay.
So you could have a safe deposit, 3 boxes, go to 3 different grandkids.
Gotcha.
The bank account is payable on death, so without a death certificate, they can't get their grubby little paws on it.
Gotcha.
But when grandma does pass away, grandchild walks in with a death certificate, photo ID, and they get that special account that grandma wanted them to have.
Gotcha.
So that they can parcel things out that way. And the POD avoids probate.
So you're saving a lot of headache, a lot of
my goodness,
time and energy. So that's probably the smart way to do it if you're going to do it.
Well, see, you and Kim.
Path of least resistance to the people you're leaving it to.
And so you and Kim should have your bank accounts that way.
Okay.
Because whoever you're going to leave the bank account to, so it'd be POD. So if you're both in the same car wreck, now nobody has to probate the bank account at least.
Gotcha. Okay. Makes sense. Because right now we're both tied to all of our accounts, but I don't think there's a third party that can access them at this time. So
yeah, but the good thing about payable on death is they cannot access it without a death certificate.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that's a good thing, especially if you really don't trust that grandchild that much.
Right.
You still want to leave them a little something.
Sure, but there's a reason why they've made choices in their life that they have, and I get it.
There's a reason they ended up in jail.
And you don't want to feed that anymore, It's like, I'm just getting more money to get more drugs in jail or whatever they're doing. So,
drugs in jail, making jailhouse hooch.
Yeah, exactly. Learning toilet Mac or whatever it is.
Sean's community service is giving cooking lessons at the CDC.
Exactly. You can make quite a great sorbet with Benadryl. But yeah, you don't want to learn those skills. So, but the point is, have the plan, think this plan, and then of course, get it. If you don't have any plan in place right now, get something in place. If you have any kind of asset, if you own a home, certainly if you have kids, you better have something in place right now.
Yeah. So I had a little lady come in a couple of weeks ago, sweetheart, and she just wanted to make sure she had everything set up, and she actually wanted to make a will. And I said, well, maybe you need one, maybe you don't. Let's talk. Mm-hmm. And she had an adult daughter living with her who was on the bank account, so daughter would get the bank account when mom passed. There's one motor vehicles in both names. Okay, got that covered. She done a transfer on death deed to the house to daughter. So a transfer on death deed says when I pass, then the house transfers to the named beneficiary.
Gotcha.
So it takes the house out of probate.
Gotcha.
So the will won't take the house out of probate.
So that's covered.
So I said, what other assets do you have? She says, none. I said, you're good.
Right.
Yeah.
It sounds like the assets they do have, the daughter was already attached to it. So
already got
upon death, she can just take right over as the full.
Right. She has beneficiary and everything. And I said, you don't need a will. When daughter gets the house, she gets all the contents of the house. So I said, unless you just want to pay me money, but you really don't need a will at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like all the bases were covered and everything else. And only thing I may want to maybe discuss with her is medical power of attorneys and that kind of stuff when things get a little
I did ask about that.
Yeah.
She had given her medical power of attorney to daughter.
Okay.
And I said, yeah, but has your daughter given one to you if something happens to her?
Yeah, when she gets in an accident. Yeah, that's a good point.
But they had covered that base.
So good for them.
This lady was sharp, yeah.
Sounds like they were on it,
So at least she felt better that she had everything covered.
Yeah.
When she came in, she asked. I said, yep, you got it all covered. Nothing you need to do. So she felt good.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, again, this is why you talk to an attorney. And again, this is what, we kind of mentioned with Matt. You call Matt up. He'll have a free consultation with you, and he'll tell you, you don't need a lawyer. You just need to do this. Or, I can help you out here, and let's see what we need to do next here. And so, but reach out and have a plan. Like I said, it's never too early. It certainly isn't too late either. So I know if you even get behind the 8 ball on it, it sure might be trickier. But while you're still upright, please get this plan in place.
Yeah.
Do something.
Once you're under the grass, it's a little late.
Yeah, exactly. And I imagine, and a guy like Matt can tell you the horror stories of what happens when you don't, because that's why Matt gets paid, the big bucks, spending a lot of hours trying to, in courts and going through books and everything.
Fix stuff that could have been avoided.
Yeah, exactly. So have the plan in place. Do it all. At the end of the day, y'all are family. Y'all, it's one point loved each other. Let's go ahead and get a plan in place and do some of that.
Yeah.
Of course, if you want to reach out to Matt, you can always reach out BristolLawOffice.com. That's his website there, and you can schedule an appointment. And
no, we're at .net now.
Oh, .net now. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that long story, nobody's fault, but we're at BristolLawOffice.net.
.net. So go there, and you can set up an appointment. You can learn all about what different types of legal services he provides and all that.
Yeah, or give us a call, 625-5284.
Yeah.
Set up an appointment. Come talk to us.
Absolutely.
Do a little bit of everything, and pretty soon, sooner or later, everything kind of ties together.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's, you specialize in certain areas of law, but it all intertwines and interchanges and all affects and impacts each other sometimes.
Yeah, I got a call just yesterday. It says, oh, well, my husband's got this business, and he's refusing to pay sales tax to the state because he doesn't think he owes it. So it sounds like a business question. And then are they going to come after me, the wife? Well, now it's just turned into a family law question.
Yeah.
So it's like,
well, it depends on how this business is set up.
Well, I said, so it's, community property debt, any debt incurred during the marriage.
Yeah.
So, you can just post-nuptial agreement, and one way to do it. And
of course, there's ways to protect your business and your house from these kind of things, but you need to talk to Matt before you get the letters and everything else, not after.
Before it goes south is always a good time to call, yeah.
Yeah, but if you're wanting to know, and that's another area where if you're wanting to, protect the family from the business and vice versa, there's ways to do that. And we've talked about LLCs and all that, but again, anytime you go with anything that gives you protections, there are rules and things that come with that you have to abide
Absolutely.
by. And so, but again, another conversation of the day. Please reach out to Matt if you have those kind of questions, and the earlier the better, because he can tell you what to do, and it's a lot easier to tell you what to do than how to fix it sometimes.
Yes. Always cheaper to fix it, address it ahead of time before it goes wrong.
Yeah.
Are we doing good?
We got time? We
or?
got time for a little fact or fiction if you'd like.
Yeah, I actually got organized this last December, kind of made an outline for the year. It's a rough outline because sometimes we just go wing it.
Sure. Story of my life.
So today, let's see, February. So in ancient Greek mythology, there was this god chasing this goddess for whatever reason. And he was chasing around the sky. But she was pregnant. And so as she became more and more pregnant, she ran slower and slower. And so he got closer and closer. And finally, she got to the point where she had the baby. And so now she's trying to run with the baby, which is not running very fast. And so he finally caught up to her. And she was feeding the baby as he caught up. And he snatched the baby away. And it spilled milk all across the sky.
Yeah.
And that's why it's called the
Milky Way.
The Milky Way.
Ah.
And of course, the Greek word for milk is gala.
Gala, okay.
And that's why they're called
Galaxies.
Galaxies.
Okay.
Bingo.
I was going Spanish like leche.
What's German for milk again?
Interesting.
So that's why it's called the Milky Way.
Yeah. So by default, you can give that story to the Milky Way candy bar as well, because I'm assuming Milky Way is named after the Milky Way, which
probably
yeah.
So folks need to get out of town sometime, because if you're out in the dark, like we've been camping out in the boondocks, the Milky Way is gorgeous.
It is. You're very blessed to live in New Mexico and see some of those things. Trust me, as a person that grew up in Maryland and D.C. area, we lived in a very city area. Sometimes we get to go up in the Appalachian Mountains and see the clear night skies, but even that doesn't compare to what you see out here in the Rockies. It's not the same. You have a much unique perspective of what the world looks like here in New Mexico compared to other parts. Enjoy it. That's
absolutely.
We're very fortunate to see people that grew up and raised here. You get to see things that many Americans never get to see.
Yep.
Just even weird stuff. Like I grew up in an area where, you know how you see in the movies, the big giant moon and the sun? And I just thought that was movie garbage, you know? And then I came out here and I was like, oh man, look at the size of that sun. Look at the size of that moon sometimes. And I never fathomed seeing stuff like that in Maryland. It's just, I know it's part of where we are on the earth and all that stuff, but it's just we don't see that stuff in Maryland. We didn't, it's
when
different.
the moon, closer to the rise of the moon appears larger.
Yeah.
Than it does when it's directly ahead.
But I've never seen it in Maryland get to that point. It's always moon-sized up there, and then I come out west and I was like, wow, I didn't know you get to see all that.
Oh yeah, we are truly blessed out here.
Absolutely. So enjoy it. And protect yourself and family and go see Matt.
And everybody have a great Valentine's Day today and a Valentine week to you, Mike.
Thank you. And yes, and last minute reminder, get there early and be nice to each other, fellas, in the card aisle. If you're rubbing shoulders trying to get your cards and y'all work together, y'all in the same boat. Y'all can together, everyone will become home happy if you just work together.
That's right.
Awesome. Thanks, Matt.
Thanks, Mike.
We'll see you. We'll see you next time.
All righty.
It is 7:51. Let's pause for local news, Kim Commando, and Chaves County Sports Update. Quick break as well. All of that and more. Don't go away. We'll be back.
Now for your Pecos Valley News Update. I'm Jared Cirillo. The indoor pool at the Roswell Recreation and Aquatic Center remains temporarily closed until further notice as repairs and maintenance take place to rectify a mold issue. Facility staff personnel are directly contacting anyone with a pool membership and those registered for pool classes to inform them. The other recreation areas of the facility remain open. The City of Roswell and the Roswell Rec and Aquatic Center apologize for the inconvenience. The New Mexico Senate this week is approving a proposed ban on the local disposal of spent nuclear fuel, unless the state provides its consent first. The bill from Democrat State Senator Jeff Steinborn of Las Cruces could impact a proposed multi-billion-dollar facility in southeastern New Mexico that's expected to temporarily store spent nuclear fuel from commercial power plants nationwide. The Nuclear Regulatory Commission could announce a decision as soon as next month on whether to grant a license to that project from Holtec International. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello reporting.
I'm the last person to lead a boycott. But with that said, here's the answer for everyone who has asked me what tech products have ties to Communist China. I'm Kim Commando, brought to you by T-Mobile. Their advanced network now goes farther than ever before. Visit T-Mobile.com/55 today. What tech from Communist China would I avoid? TikTok is number one. I've discussed this app so many times. It collects all the data on your phone and sends it to TikTok's owner, ByteDance, in Beijing, a Chinese Communist Party puppet. DJI drones are next. Yeah, they're the best consumer drone on the market, but assume that each DJI drone relays everything it sees back to China. The U.S. government has banned their use for anything related to the government or our military. Next is Lenovo. Originally an IBM company, Lenovo laptops are funded by the Chinese Academy of Sciences. Do what the U.S. Marines and many others have done. Just say no to Lenovo. Hey, want to sound like a tech pro even if you aren't? Listen to my daily longer podcast called Kim Commando Today. Using the internet without ExpressVPN is like checking in your baggage at the airport without a lock. You think your stuff is private, but you never know who just might be going through it. When you go online without a VPN, internet service providers can see every single website you visit. They can legally sell this information without your consent to ad companies and tech giants who use your data to target you. That's why I recommend ExpressVPN. When you use ExpressVPN, internet service providers can't see your online activity. Your identity is anonymized by a secure server, and your data is encrypted for maximum protection. Just fire up the ExpressVPN app and click one button. It works on all your devices, phones, laptops, even routers. So everyone who shares your Wi-Fi is protected. Get an extra 3 months free on a 1-year package at expressvpn.com/Kim. That's expressvpn.com/Kim. That's expressvpn.com/Kim.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We have a high wind warning in effect today for gusts as high as 60 miles per hour. With that strong low pressure system moving through, we will get sunshine and fairly mild daytime highs in the mid-60s. Just watch out for that gusty wind. Well, the overnight hours, partly cloudy, cool, and breezy, are low in the mid-30s. Then we may get a shower or two tomorrow. Our afternoon high going up to 50 and windy. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
It's time for the Chavez County Sports Report. Well, it was almost an unexpected breakthrough for the Roswell girls basketball team on Friday night playing at Carlsbad. Roswell had lost at home to Carlsbad to start district play by 16 points, and obviously weren't expected to win against Carlsbad teams. Only lost 2 games, but they almost defeated the Cave Girls. Carlsbad wins 29-27. Roswell still seeking its first district victory. We'll get another crack at it tonight against Hobbs. That starts at 7 o'clock. And it's been tough times lately for the Goddard Lady Rockets on Friday night, losing to Portales by a score of 52-31. That was a home game for the Rockets, who are now 1-3 in district play. Goddard's lost 3 in a row. They will be playing at Lovington tonight at 5:30. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics is scheduled on Tuesday to release January's Consumer Price Index data, expected to show how effective Federal Reserve policy tightening has been in taming inflation. Oil prices edged higher on Monday, rebounding from early losses as investors weighed Russia's plans to cut crude production and short-term demand concerns ahead of the U.S. inflation data. Coca-Cola will report its latest financial results on Tuesday. The Atlanta-based beverage company has been raising prices to deal with inflation, but has seen customers trade down to smaller package sizes or private label competitors to cut costs. Coke rolled out value packs with smaller size bottles in the U.S., Japan, and other markets for cost-conscious shoppers. Turkey's worst earthquake in almost a century has left a trail of destruction that could cost up to $84.1 billion, a business group said. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
Martine's Capital Cafe in Roswell offers authentic and highly rated New Mexico food. Explore their amazing menu featuring huevos rancheros or asado with eggs or their green chili stew. And you can't forget their award-winning green chili cheeseburger, all made from scratch using their finest and freshest ingredients. Open for carryout with curbside delivery or limited dine-in. Just call ahead 624-2111. Martine's Capital Cafe, always pleasing the most refined palate. Open Monday through Saturday from 6 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. at 110 West 4th in Roswell.
Wakefield Oil Company is a name you can rely on with full service at the pump the way it used to be. You can expect service in just 15 seconds. They offer bulk fuel and oil services and even diesel exhaust fluid. Wakefield Oil Company will deliver to farms, ranches, dairies, the oil fields, and more with dependable service you can count on. So the next time you need service or delivery, go with the name that locals have trusted since 1983. Wakefield Oil Company, 311 South Virginia in Roswell. Let them earn your business.
You can't hunt camels in Arizona, but you can buy them. They go for about $10 a pack. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 7:58. Stay tuned next hour, about 8:15 or so. We're going to have the folks from the Chaves County Extension Office join us, give us an update on lots of things they got going on. Of course, with the diabetes, cooking sensations, all that stuff coming up, stuff going on, workshops and things with Drew for your ag side. So we'll get all that updates. And then, of course, their library visits, all that. We'll talk about that with them next hour. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, we're going to have Andrew Moore from the Roswell Chamber join us, give us an update there. Hey, today is Valentine's Day, and it is not too late to let Dairy Queen help you make your Valentine's Day special. That's right. The Dairy Queen on North Main in Roswell has a sweet treat for you and your sweetheart. They're called Cupid Cakes. They're delicious and delectable Dairy Queen treats, perfectly sliced for two and priced right at a sweet $12.99. Choose from one of three flavors, like Triple Truffled Blizzard Cupid Cake, or the Choco Cherry Love Cupid Cake, or the Dipped Strawberry Cupid Cake. Your choice, all of them. They're a perfect treat for two of you to show your sweetheart the love that you truly are. So come on down to the North Main Dairy Queen and pick up your Cupid Cake today. Don't go to the one on 2nd. Go to the North Main. That's the one you want to do. Also, don't forget the 28th Annual Mardi Gras benefit for All Saints Catholic School is this Saturday, February 18th from 6:30 to 11. Call 627-5744 or visit All Saints Catholic School on Facebook to get tickets. Adults 21 and over, $60 per person, and all of the proceeds benefit All Saints Catholic School. Come on out. Silent auction, door prizes, King Queen contest, and the King Cake, where you can win prizes if you have the baby in the cake. All of that, February 18th at St. Peter's Catholic Church from 6:30
If you're ready to make a change,
11.
do what thousands have done and call 864-644-1900
You listen to
to get
106.5
started
Roswell Talk
today.
FM, KEND, or Roswell, New Mexico.
Townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Saying it's time for a new generation of leadership, former GOP governor and UN ambassador Nikki Haley has formally entered the race for the White House.
Haley made it official in a campaign video.
I'm Nikki Haley, and I'm running for president.
The 51-year-old Haley is the second person to join the Republican presidential field after 76-year-old Donald Trump. After serving as South Carolina governor, Haley represented the U.S. at the United Nations during the Trump administration. If elected, she would be the nation's first female president and the first U.S. president of Indian descent. Greg Clugston, Washington.
Shock and mourning on the Michigan State University campus in East Lansing.
Every Spartan student, parent, and staff member should know that Michiganders and Americans everywhere are thinking of you today.
Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer on last night's shootings that left 3 people dead, 5 others injured. MSU Deputy Police Chief Chris Rosman says investigators will not be able to question the gunman.
The suspect is deceased due to a self-inflicted gunshot wound, and we are prepared to release the name of the person who committed these homicides at this time.
The name, Anthony McRae. Police say the 43-year-old apparently had no connection to the school. Inflation ran hot again last month, prices rising 6.4% compared to 1 year earlier, while on a month-to-month basis.
The Labor Department says consumer prices rose 0.5% in January. The increase in inflation could encourage the Federal Reserve to further raise interest rates. Core inflation, which excludes volatile food and energy prices, rose 0.4% on a month-to-month basis. and 5.6% annually.
It's correspondent Jeremy House. And watching Wall Street, the Dow down 30 points, while the NASDAQ is 47 points higher, and the S&P is up 8 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
Tax agents have raided the BBC's offices in India's capital Delhi and in Mumbai. The BBC's Sanjay Dasgupta following the story.
Indian media are reporting that the Income Tax Department is conducting what is being described as survey action at the BBC's offices in Delhi and Mumbai. The department is being quoted as saying the survey action has been undertaken to carry out verification of certain documents. This comes just weeks after the government blocked the sharing of clips from a BBC documentary focusing on the Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his leadership during religious riots in the western state of Gujarat in 2002 when he was chief minister. At least 1,000 people, mostly Muslims, were killed in the violence. The Indian Foreign Ministry said last month the documentary was biased, lacked objectivity, and was meant to push a discredited narrative. The BBC has stood by its reporting.
The death toll from the earthquakes in Turkey and Syria now surpassing 35,000. Crews continue searching for victims. Townhall.com. Now that the Super Bowl has ended football for the year, it's time for baseball.
Spring training opened Monday in Florida and Arizona, and there'll be lots of new changes like pitch clocks, limits on defensive shifts, and larger bases. Players are reporting early ahead of the World Baseball Classic. Opening day is March 30th. This season we'll see some star players in new places: Jacob deGrom, Justin Verlander, Trey Turner, and Xander Bogaerts. There are also 4 new managers: Bruce Bochy, Matt Quatraro, Pedro Grifol, and Skip Shoemaker. Keith Peters reporting.
Sunday's Super Bowl was the third most watched television show ever. An estimated 113 million people watching the Kansas City Chiefs rally to defeat the Philadelphia Eagles. The figures are via Nielsen's fast national data and Adobe Analytics. Final Nielsen data to be available later today. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
Call it the deuce.
Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Valentine's Day.
Oh, thanks, bud. I mean, I'm flattered, but, you know.
I wish everyone happy.
You're not really my type.
This will come later. Right. But Just a peck. Relax. I'm not a pervert. But happy Valentine's Day. Yes, guys, it is Valentine's Day if you've forgotten.
Dudes are like, oh, crap.
Yeah. You better get a plan in place.
Honey, I actually heard, I don't know, I think this is radio appropriate, but the best way...
Right before he says it on the radio?
Right.
Go ahead.
The best way to describe Valentine's Day for the fellas, I heard the term Wiener Christmas tossed around.
Really?
Yeah, Wiener Christmas. Because we're going all out. We're spending money on flowers and dates and all this stuff. But we only want one thing in return.
Oh, that's what he's trying to say. Yeah, probably should have kept that to yourself. But, fellas, if you're just now remembering, start putting the plan together. Maybe coordinate. Y'all meet at the pick your store of choice card section. Y'all meet. And then come up with a plan, you know, and then work with each other.
Use them internets. There's plenty of good ideas out there.
Like if y'all are in the card section, it's all of you there. It's like, hey, anybody looking for the funny ones? They're over here. Or hey, the more heartfelt ones are over here. And get through there before they get too picked through. And for the love of God, if you pick a card out of the slot, put it in the same one so it doesn't mess up the envelope thing. I don't know how hard it is. Who are these people that are taking extra envelopes?
Well, my problem
I know
is
it's like Seinfeld.
My problem is that cards today are there are too many shapes. They need to be standardized. We need standardized greeting cards so we can have standardized greeting card envelopes. There's just the shapes have gone wild.
Well, it's only if you're mailing them. Is that where it's if you're mailing your Valentines, then you got to go. Because they like to put music boxes and make them the size of like a small child. When they do that, then
how
many stamps you put on?
What's your move when you're giving someone a card? Like if you're as far as the envelope goes, do you seal the envelope? Do you tape it down, or do you tuck the back flap into the inside of it?
I Gene Simmons that thing and lick it up and down.
You make it to where they have to get a knife to cut it open.
Yeah. Find my favorite Kiss song and crank it up to 11.
I'll be honest with you. I prefer the baller move of a wax seal.
Oh well, I left that at home.
Good size drip of wax, and you get your stamp. Oh yeah, that's
I like
class.
to get my cards notarized. Right there. I go to my local notary and have them notarized.
A little stampy thing. It's nice.
Then I heat up the wax, just like Three Musketeers. I also like to send it on parchment.
Right.
Papyrus. But
I made this paper.
Anyway, you don't have to go through all that. Just go get a card and be nice to each other in the card section, and don't take extra envelopes. That's the only. And certainly put them in the same thing, because I hate that too. It kind of is almost the same size, but not quite. And you don't realize it till you get home and try to stuff it, and it don't quite fit.
Right.
Yeah.
Fellas, spring for the large prize this year. She deserves it.
He is single, by the way.
I am totally
There's a reason he's not married.
That's right.
All right. Let me give you the rundown. Of course, what are your plans today?
I really have none. Nice. I am going to pick up my kids after work today, go home, and make dinner.
Well, they've got Valentine's parties.
Yeah, they're doing their thing at school. They got, Valentine's to give out and receive. So,
do they come home with candy when they do that?
Yeah, they'll have a little bit. My daughter doesn't really eat much candy, so
do you get it all?
I'll take what she doesn't eat. Yeah, she eats M&Ms, and that's pretty much it. Like she doesn't do conversation hearts. She doesn't do like chocolate or anything like that.
I could see the conversation hearts.
I like them.
You're the one.
Like
You're the one guy. No one eats those things.
I think they're great.
They're the Smarties of candy.
Yeah.
No one eats those things.
They've been flavored the same way for 100 years. Chalk and earwig honey, and it's delicious.
You don't give them out at Halloween, do you?
Halloween?
Like you're not that guy.
The sweethearts? No.
The Smarties or
no.
whatever.
No, I give out pamphlets for my local church and tiny Bibles. Toothbrushes and apples. That's what I give out. Super popular.
And then
you know what? It's fine though, because eggs are way too expensive these days, so nobody's gonna mess my house up or my car up. It's fine.
Yeah, but toilet paper's come down.
That's true.
And guess what? That's the one night it's going to rain in southeast New Mexico, so they TP your house.
They paper mache'd my place. It's nice.
Right.
I'm a pinata now.
Why did they have to use Bounty? This stuff's really sticking there, man. We could,
How many plies do you need?
This is like 8 triple ply Charmin. This isn't like that cheap stuff. Where's that Waldorf toilet paper? That just
the Scott paper.
You look at it, it falls apart. Yeah. Right. But anyway, happy Valentine's.
Yeah,
that's what I'm trying.
That's really all we're driving at.
So let me give you the rundown for this hour of the show. We'll get you up to date with the weather here in just a bit, and then here in a few minutes. Drew and Tamara have been patiently waiting and judging us while we talk.
I know. I could feel it. I could feel it coming hardcore from that side of the table. That's why I don't make eye contact. Because I feel like at that point I'm being fully judged.
But from the Chaves County Extension Office, they're going to join us and they'll give us an update and things. They've got lots of stuff coming up. Things for the whole family, kids and parents and everybody. So
That's right.
We'll talk about that with them here in just a bit. Then we'll get you up to date with news of the local variety, along with your Wall Street business update and a few commercials to pay for my Valentine's Day gift and lunch, and then whatever else we can come up with for today's show.
That's right.
There you go. And Sean's collection of weird foods.
That's right.
Smarties and all the foods that no one else likes are Sean's favorites. And I don't. The more I talk to you, the more things I'm like, golly, man, do you like anything that's good and tasty, or is it just all the garbage food?
I do, but I learned over the course of being married for 15 years that if you're going to want your stuff to stay in your house, like the stuff that nobody else likes. So that's why I like weird stuff, so that my stuff stays my stuff.
It feels like that's not a life well lived, man.
It's a great life. I've never once heard...
Oh, yeah, they're revolting, but there are plenty of them, and no one wants them.
I've never once in my entire life had to utter the phrase, "Who ate my pork cracklets?" Never come up, not one time.
I know.
It's a good life to live. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Like things that nobody else likes, and then you can enjoy as much as you want.
Oh, no, that government peanut butter is just fine.
Sure, you got to stir it. Oh, that though.
The sheen is what makes it tasty.
We used to get the commodity peanut butter, and what used to irritate me to no end is my mom would, first of all, it came in a can with you'd have to can opener it. So my mom would open the can and pour off the oil on top.
You're supposed to stir it in.
You're supposed to stir it in.
Yeah.
She would pour the good part off. And so then we just had like dry peanut paste. It would mess up any bread we had in the house. Yeah.
And then peanut oil.
Which is why I started eating peanut butter on tortillas, because you couldn't rip apart a tortilla spreading dry peanut paste.
Should just add more oil back to it.
Oh, it used to irritate me so much.
But now he loves it.
Oh, yeah, it's great.
I ate it on steak.
Okay, but nobody else likes it.
All right, it is 8:14. Let's get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We have a high wind warning in effect today for gusts as high as 60 miles per hour. With that strong low pressure system moving through, we will get sunshine and fairly mild daytime highs in the mid-60s. Just watch out for that gusty wind. Well, the overnight hours, partly cloudy, cool, and breezy, are low in the mid-30s. Then we may get a shower or two tomorrow. Our afternoon high going up to 50 and windy. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Currently, I forgot to bring up my weather, and I didn't refresh it. Man, I'm a horrible host. Sorry about that. Currently 46 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 46%. Winds currently out of the southwest at 14 miles per hour. We are in the middle of a high wind warning. That's why you see all the wind. That's what that's about. We'll be in that till about 5 p.m. today. They're talking sunny, though, and 64. That's the good news. Bad news is the winds will be up out of the west, 20 to 35, gusting as high as 45 miles per hour today. Tonight, mostly clear with an overnight low of 34, south winds 10 to 20. Wednesday, I wish I had good news for you, but I really kind of don't. It might rain. That'd be the good news. 20% chance of rain before 11. But for the most part, mostly sunny. Highs near 50, so we're going to be about 15 degrees cooler. And the winds are going to be kind of loco tomorrow. Winds out of the southwest, 15 to 25. Later increasing 25 to 35. However, could see wind gusts as high as 50 miles per hour tomorrow. Tomorrow night, patchy blowing snow, not even dust, snow before 11 p.m. Mostly clear. I don't know where this blowing dust is coming from, but we got some coming. Mostly clear otherwise. Overnight low of 21 with west winds 10 to 15. Thursday, good news. Winds are calmer. It's only going to be 44 under sunny skies, but north winds 5 to 10. Friday, increasing clouds, but highs near 50. And then weekend, not too shabby, actually. Mostly sunny on Saturday, highs near 60. Partly cloudy, highs near 70, 68 on Sunday. So we got tomorrow, and then there's Sunday. So welcome to Southeast New Mexico. All right, it is 8:17. We're going to take a 2.5-minute commercial break, and then we'll have the folks from the Chaves County Extension Office join us on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Hi, I'm Dr. Keon at Carabelli Dental. Same-day smiles are what we do. My passion is helping patients chew, talk, and live with confidence. That's why I'm one of the few doctors in the U.S. who can create beautiful same-day smiles with the latest digital implant technology. This procedure is life-changing. Just ask Sean.
Hi, I'm Sean. I've been that voice that you've heard on the radio for most of my life, but I'm also a dad to 2 amazing kids. I've had a million reasons to smile, but in all my old pictures, I was never smiling. Truth is that life of improper care and being dealt a bad hand genetically left me practically with no teeth. It affected everything from the way I ate, the way I talked, and of course how I interacted with people. And that's where Dr. Keon and Carabelli stepped in. They eased my fears. They explained every step of the process in a way that I could understand, and they made me feel almost like I was part of the team. And now, I can't stop smiling. I have so much more confidence, and I love looking in the mirror now. I can't explain how much of a difference Dr. Keon's dental implant process made for me.
Our team can help you find your smile too. Come see us at Carabelli Dental, 575-622-4455.
In New Mexico, the leading cause of death is heart disease, but it is preventable. This Heart Health Month, celebrate with Artesia General Hospital at a special presentation from the cardiology specialist at Advanced Heart and Vascular Center of New Mexico. They'll be joined by special guest Sherry Wells, Executive Director of the American Heart Association. Join us on Thursday, February 16th at 5:30 p.m. in the Green Chili Cafe. For more information, please visit Artesia General Hospital's Facebook page. One beat at a time, we're here for every heart.
Have you ever met a single person in your life that enjoys paying taxes? No one does. If you can't sleep at night because you have a huge problem with the IRS, I've got some free advice for you. This service is strictly limited to individuals that owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes. And if you qualify, we can guarantee that you won't be writing a big fat check to the IRS, or our services cost you nothing. The first 100 people that call today will get a free tax consultation worth $500. Stop worrying about your IRS problem. We can help you, we promise. Call the tax doctor right now. I mean right now, to learn more.
800-817-2871. 800-817-2871. 800-817-2871. That's 800-817-2871.
The inventor of Pringles is buried in a Pringles can. I wonder if they got their hands stuck putting him in there. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 20 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from the Chaves County Extension Office, Tamara Schubert, and, of course, Drew Garnett back with us this morning. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
One covers the food and diabetes and the health side. The other's covering plants and bugs.
We're trying to get her the food for the diabetes.
And 4-H is all hands on deck.
It is all hands on deck.
Well, good morning, guys. How y'all doing?
Doing pretty well.
Good. Now, one of the things I know you guys have started here the last couple months, and we'd love to invite every month. You guys are doing your monthly library visits, and you go and work with not just kids but adults too. Mm-hmm. And you guys come. Is it twice a month, right? Each one, or is it once?
So 4-H Day at the library is actually tomorrow.
Okay.
So kids can come out and join us, 5 to 18 years old. We've got some great. We're going to do braiding this month. So we're going to make some snake toys for the little kids and keychains for our older kids. So come out and join us. And then Drew's got gardening.
And then Saturday we've got gardening at the library. And actually this month is going to be led by our master gardeners, and it's going to be a very interesting topic on how to get children interested in gardening.
Okay. So parents and kids are more than welcome to come to this one.
So this one is very much open for everybody, but it is going to be tailored towards trying to excite kids about gardening and get them interested. So if you want to learn tips and techniques on how to get your kids interested, or if you're a teacher in the area that are trying to start a gardening program in your classroom, this is a great opportunity to find some really hands-on demos for that.
I think this would be a great opportunity, too, for, say, maybe you're a parent trying to do a bonding experience with your child.
Oh, very much
But maybe
so.
neither one of you know anything about gardening. You're like, hey, let's learn it together, and then we're going to plant our little garden in the backyard.
Take it home and get ready.
So kids and parents get to come together and learn together, and then go home and practice what you learned there with all the master gardeners. So
That's it.
I think that would be a really cool way. So parents, even if your thumb is brown as can be, but you're like, hey, I want to do something with my kids.
Yes.
Come on out this Saturday, and maybe y'all can learn and grow together. Next thing you know, y'all pick up a hobby that you both like, and who knows, you might spend the rest of your lives, talking about plants each other growing.
Hey, at least you'll be able to supplement what you get out of the grocery store, right?
Exactly.
So you'll be able to add that to your list. Or maybe you're just looking for aesthetics and sprucing up your garden for this coming spring.
By the way, parents and kids, produce that comes out of your home garden, you'll notice tastes way better than the stuff you buy at the grocery store. And you'll know why, because it's how it's raised and grown. There's a lot of science into making vegetables grow. And sometimes the science is to grow more, bigger, faster, not necessarily or tastier.
Or that stays on the shelf for a while.
Exactly, or preserved as long. So now granted, produce you pull out of the ground, you want to do something with it pretty quick. You don't want to let it linger.
Take care of it.
But oh man, you're going to notice the difference in taste in your carrots and tomatoes and corn and fruits and everything that you plant out there.
And then it's rewarding to have that that hard work that you put in yourself, and then, getting to really enjoy it later.
And I imagine doctors and things would argue it's healthier too, because I imagine there's probably more nutrients and things in there that maybe sometimes get scienced out of the other stuff when they're trading freshness and quantity for taste.
That's always the trade-off, right, in the breeding process. Is you're breeding for a specific trait, you may lose out somewhere along the way.
It kind of reminds me of and this is getting a little nerd, but for those that watch Star Trek: The Next Generation, have you ever watched any of those? Drew, I feel you've seen a couple. She's looking at me like deer in headlights, like Star Trek. Yeah, right. No, I actually met people and lived my life. I didn't watch that stuff. But on the show, they had a computer, and the computer could make all the food. So in theory, it's cool. It's like, so Captain Picard be like, computer, Earl Grey, hot. And he gets a cup of Earl Grey tea, hot and everything. Or it's like, computer, steak dinner. And he gives them the steak dinner. But the problem is, it's not real food. It's all computer. But so what I'm going with is there's a couple of those episodes where they go to a planet or Earth or something, and they're eating steak, and like, hey, this is real meat. And you're like, oh, and we don't think about that. But this is what that kind of reminds me of, is that, it's like, hey, this tomato is actually good. It's like, it's
a real
how
tomato.
it's supposed to be, and that's how it is. So come out Saturday. What time are you starting on Saturday?
So it's 10 o'clock on Saturdays.
Okay,
and so
10 a.m.
again, it's every third Saturday of the month.
So you can kind of mark your calendar and then just plan to come.
That's
it. And
it.
then 4-H will be tomorrow
at 3.
At 3 o'clock. And like you said, if you're going to be doing the braiding, is it with the those straps you make like the keychains, and you do the weaving, the fold over?
So we're going to do braiding with parachute cord.
Okay.
Or the plastic braid cord. We're going to do that. And then the snakes for the little kids going to be made out of fabric.
Cool. Very cool. So I kind of remember doing stuff like that as a kid. I think what we did was they probably use a little bit different, but same concept, same probably the same techniques and everything there. But they make great keychains and various tools. I loved it. I had mine for years.
You can do a lot of awesome things. I mean, once you get those basics down, I mean, I'm a late onset weaver, right? It's weaving what I do with the duck call lanyards. Tamara has to correct me on what I call these things, because I don't know the technical term.
You braid.
Oh, I braid.
And
Never mind. Okay. Never mind. I braid. I always call it weaving, and Tamara corrects me. That's braiding.
But I can see how that basket weaving, you kind of put that, because it's kind of got that basket weaving type motion.
You know what? Yeah, I struggle with that.
Yeah.
That difference.
But there's practical reasons too. It's not just decorative or functional, but like rope shortening. That was I was in the Boy Scouts, so we kind of. So one of the ways, if you don't want to cut rope, but you want it shorter, you can use some of these exact same braiding techniques to shorten the rope without ruining and cutting the rope.
Well, and we've had kids make jump ropes and dog leashes and dog collars and belts, and so there's a lot of things that they can do with it.
It's a very functional thing to have. It's not just decorative stuff. You can use it in manly stuff. You know, like
duck call lanyards, rifle slings,
guitar straps.
Yeah, it's
there's a wide range of functions that you can get out of this. So it really is a great skill to learn.
And
so
especially when you have those things that snap or break on you, and now you got, all right, here's a fix.
You can fix it.
You got a fix.
Yeah.
You know,
be self-reliant. You know, we're talking about gardening at home, being able to braid,
and fellas, that's the new sexy. Kids, I'm telling you right now, you're growing up in a world where none of your compatriots know how to do anything without calling a number or getting on a computer. If you could make your own things and do your own stuff, you're going to be a king. You're going to walk through here. The world will be your oyster because you're like, I don't need to rely on someone to do something for me. I can do it myself.
That's it.
And you want to talk about real freedom? That's real freedom, right?
Being able to do it yourself and invest in your own self. And, and that is great. And a lot of these skills that you learn in 4-H, I mean, that's
what
where
it translates to.
All this translates to. So
absolutely.
Look into 4-H and join up now. It's a great program to get a lot of skills for life.
Now, if you're even listening, you're like, well, I'm not into braiding and all that stuff. But 4-H is so much more than that. It could be the computer side to learning about that. Obviously, the side that most people see, the raising of livestock and all that stuff, that's part of it. But shooting sports to things that have nothing to do with a farm or ranch, they're learning in 4-H. So come out tomorrow for the event, even if you're not into braiding, and learn a little bit more about 4-H.
Right now, they've got quilting workshops going on. Their sewing workshops are starting. They've done embroidery and jewelry making. So now is the time to jump in. Our enrollment's open until the end of March.
Again, more great skills that, again, the world is your oyster. If you can embroider and quilt and sew, I don't care who you are, men, women, that's going to be assets that go with you the rest of your life. It's just, you never know when you're going to need a moment where it's like, you know what, I need to be proficient with needle and thread right now. And those are skills that unfortunately are kind of dying because those are kind of things that families pass from tradition, and we're not seeing that as much now.
No, we're not, and it's so easy now to just go down to the store and purchase something. But, we've been seeing over the last few years with inflation and everything else how much harder it is to find those things or purchase those things.
Yeah.
And then, we're talking Valentine's Day today. The cooking that you learn in 4-H as well. Gentlemen, let's be honest. You could take your lady out for a very nice dinner. We have a lot of wonderful restaurants that'll provide a great meal.
Yeah, but you know how busy they're all going to be tonight?
They're going to be super busy. So if you haven't already booked your reservation, you better learn to cook really quick. But on the same thing, if you learn how to cook and you know how to cook, nothing impresses more.
Absolutely. That's, yes. See, this is a man who impressed his wife with food, I could tell.
Or the other way around.
Well, it stemmed from a love of food that just led to her loving my food.
So you converted.
Yes,
that's it. It's better that way.
Yeah, it works.
But with cooking, so if they've got diabetes, we've got a new cooking school kicking off next month.
Awesome.
So now's the time to get in. So it's going to be Mondays in March starting at 4:00 in the afternoon. So little close to the end of work time.
Yeah.
But join in now. We do need you to pre-register so that we can get all those free goodies.
And again, this is for people that have been diagnosed with pre-diabetes, correct?
This is the full-blown. Anybody that has diabetes, it's a 4-week, so it's every Monday. It's 4 Mondays in March.
Excellent. Now, and this class is for you. So all you folks that are like thinking, all right, I've been diagnosed with diabetes, goodbye pizza, goodbye, all these things I love. This class is going to say, no, my friend. We can recreate these things you love. We just got to do it in a way that doesn't harm your body. And that's what they do. They can create pizzas. And by the way, I've been eating nothing but cauliflower crust pizzas for like the last month. I've gotten all in on them. And so now, they're granted, I've ordered them like frozen and I haven't made one yet. But, they're way better than, healthier than the Red Baron or DiGiorno or any of the other.
But National Pizza Day was just the other day, and there are healthy ways you can enjoy pizza. So come join us; we'll help you out with that.
Absolutely, and you can still put the good toppings you like, as long guess what, carb people of that fear the carb. Meat's great toppings on pizza.
Meats and throw those veggies on.
That's right. Mushrooms and maybe stick away from the starchy veggies and things. But sure, you could put, I'm not a tomato guy, but you want to put your tomatoes and things like that. It's the one I was getting, it was like a mushroom, sausage, and onion, and it was something else in there, but it was really good. And it's a real combo that was a California pizza one, which is like $3 more than all the other ones. But I could taste the difference. The $3 I could taste in there, and it's very healthy.
Worth the money.
But that's what this class is all about. It's giving you alternatives, giving you ways to recreate these. You're a pasta lover,
choose whole grain.
That's right. But there's also ways to even incorporate other foods to replace the wheat you put in pasta. People are making pasta out of vegetables and things, right? And it tastes good. Like you're thinking, yeah, okay, I've seen where they take, what is it, like cucumber strips, or I don't remember what it was they did. Zucchini, that's what it was. But it works. If you've got to, it is a bit of a mind, because in your head you got to change. No, spaghetti's supposed to be, pasta with, you know what I mean? We all have that it's supposed to be this way, but it's like, just shut your eyes, forget what this is, and open and eat it. And
you can still get that enjoyment out of what you're eating.
And you're like, this is really
still
good.
Be healthy. Yeah,
and so much more of it is about portion control.
Sure. Yeah.
Load up your plate with vegetables and then have your pasta.
Yeah. You don't have to, just because Italians put pasta like the size of Mount Rushmore on your size of your plate doesn't mean you need to do that.
Right. The average one that we get served in restaurants is probably 4 times the amount of what
you're
we
getting
need
a
to
family serving, and you eat it all but that's the norm, because anywhere you go, restaurants are competing for your bucks that are like, we got to go more. So you go to a Mexican restaurant, they're like, no, we're going to give you a burrito the size of Montana. It's like, you'll have to, because full well. And if you're disciplined, you're like, well, great, now I got 2-3 meals out of it, and I'll take it home. None of us do that. We'll take it home, and we'll eat all of it later, or we just engorge it that time.
See, and we talked about this in the Prevent T2 class this week, too.
Yeah.
You just put half of it away in your to-go box and set it on the other side of the table so you're not tempted to eat it.
Exactly.
And then you do have that second meal to take home.
Yeah.
My problem is I end up leaving that second half on the table when I walk out.
My wife is bad about that. That is I don't know how many meals we've left sitting in the styrofoam, and now it's a thing. Every time we get up to leave, I'm like, Kim, you have your leftovers. And now, oh yes, when he grabs it, and then we go. Some of them, like seafood ones, you're like, dang, that was a lot of money. You should go back and get it. But it's the same thing with like sweets and things. You love ice cream, I get it. There's
moderation,
and also they've gotten better at creating products that actually taste more. Like, let's face it, when the low-carb ice creams first came out, I'm not going to lie, those things were god-awful. And I'm like, it's like eating a cold piece of cardboard. I mean, it was just gross. But they've gotten better with the technology. They found new ingredients and things that blend and mix better. And the ice creams, the low carbs and the healthier ice creams are much closer to what you conceptualize as ice cream in your head now. And so we're getting better with that. And a lot of it's like, and I'm sure you teach in the class, it's portion control, but a lot of it's reading labels and looking and seeing and just seeing, and you got to be careful because marketing people lie to you sometimes, and they'll sit there and say low carb, low this, but you got to read the ingredient. Even like those cauliflower pizzas I'm talking, I'm thinking, oh, these got to be no carbs. It's like, then you got to be careful. Not all of them are made of all cauliflower. Some are mixed with other things. They're not truly a cauliflower. So you got to pay attention to that. So even if you think you're doing it, you're like, oh, this is not really what I thought it was. And so pay attention to that kind of stuff. So, and that's why the class will be very helpful because Tamara and they all teach you what to look for. And when it comes to the numbers, and you're like, okay, forget all that labeling garbage. Look at this number, do some math. If the numbers line up, enjoy.
Right.
It's a lot of it's that. It's kind of that thing. And then, like what Tamara said earlier, portion control. Have your cake, just not all of your cake at one time. And that's what. But you get to learn. And this is the class you cook. Right?
Yes.
This is the one you cook and eat foods. So you're going to smell and taste delicious things throughout this class. So
right. So three of the classes we will be cooking out of the recipe books that we get, and there's a couple of recipe books that we give participants, so they can go home and try them as well.
Good deal.
But they get to try some new things, and sometimes that's what it's all about.
Yeah, but it would behoove you to sign up now earlier because this class fills up. It's very full. It's a popular class, and the longer you wait, the less chance of you getting in the class because there's only so many we can take, and I would hate for you to miss out. And you have to wait a whole nother year to do it again. So sign up now. Call the extension office. Get online. Reach out. Come on by and say, "Hey, I want to be on that cooking sensation class," and they'll. And the good news, it's there's no cost.
It's free.
It's all completely free. And I'll tell you this: you get out of it what you put in. You know, if you come committed, come ready to do this stuff, and I guarantee you're gonna come out with an amazing menu, an amazing idea of how to eat properly and happy. And
so we had one that joined us that was diabetic at the last class, and now he's not even pre-diabetic. His numbers have dropped.
Wow, that's good for that person.
So
great. And that happens, and that's one of those things with diabetes. You can, depending on how long you've been doing this, but like if you catch it, you can literally reverse all of that and go back. Now that doesn't say sweet, carb me up, baby, but you at least prevent it from taking insulin or medicines or things your whole life to keep those numbers in check. And let's face it too, diabetes research has gotten a lot better over years. So if you've been diagnosed for diabetes for, say, 10, 15 years, what they told you 15 years ago is not the same as what they're telling you today. You probably know that because if you're regularly checking with your doctors and the medicines, even the ideology on, how to deal with diabetes. Before it was like no carbs. Sure, they're still wanting you to do that, but now that it's not so much about what you put in, but it's when you put it in, how you put it in. And, a lot more of that impacts on, what time. And, it's like you wake up because the early science was like, your sugar's going to be higher here in the morning. You do this, this, and this. And now they kind of look at it and say, well, now let's look at your A1C, which is the overall picture. And that way you can, and then, of course, the monitoring equipment's a lot better. So you can check your spikes and all that stuff. It's night and day. Having diabetes in 2023 is night and day different than having it 20 years ago.
Right.
And this class is an evolution of that. And so please take advantage of it. Learn how to live a happy life while managing diabetes. And it's not a death sentence. It's not even it's a big inconvenience at best. That's really, or at worst, it really is if you do something about it. If you continue to live the life you're going to live, then you're going to find out real quick how bad diabetes is when you start losing feet and going blind and all the other things that happen with people that get dying. Eventually, they're going to die. But, but with the moderation, with the things like this, you're living long, happy, normal, healthy lives. You're up there, with these centurions or whatever they call them that live to be 100 and all that. You'd be right up there with them if you keep your thing. So, All right. So come out to the library tomorrow. What time again for
At 3.
3 o'clock, so right after school here. Come on out to the library. They're going to be doing braiding. That's kind of the main event here. Kids, what's kind of the age appropriate for this?
5 to 18.
5 to 18, so school-age kids, kindergarten up through high school. Come on down. And, of course, if you want to learn more about 4-H and all the different activities, talk to Tamara and talk. If you're like, well, I'm not into braiding, but I'm into this.
Sure.
She got you covered. And then, of course, come out this Saturday to the library, and that's at 10 a.m.?
Yes, that'll be at 10 a.m., gardening at the library.
Yes.
And that'll be on getting youth interested and excited about gardening.
Yeah, so bring the kids, bring the parents, and come out, and let's get you starting a garden here and learning together how to do that from some of our local master gardeners. And then, of course, now's the time to sign up for the Cooking Sensations class. They'll get up. What time's the first class, or when's the class get underway?
The first Monday in March is the very first class.
So about
on
2
the
weeks
6th.
away here. Yeah.
Yep, at 4 o'clock.
Very good. So we're about 2 weeks out. Sign up this week. Don't wait 2 weeks, because if you wait 2 weeks, you're not going to be in the class. It'll be full. But that's also, if you do find out it's full,
Get on the waiting list because we will schedule another one.
And talk to Tamara. She's got lots of resources and things to help you out in the meantime and get you, because let's face it, you still got to eat between now and next year.
Right.
You know, she can put you in touch with a lot of, you know, resources, health specialists and things. You know, so if your healthcare provider isn't giving you that, you can talk to the extension office. She can put you in the right direction for all of that.
Absolutely.
And of course, if you have questions about anything ag related, or hey, or check out, is there any weevils in my pecans? Is you know, pesticides, all that stuff. Drew's got you covered on any of that. Yeah, you just had your class.
So we had our CEUs back in November.
Yeah.
We've had a few other functions that are gone on. And then actually March 28th, we are going to be having our Southeast Ranchers Workshop again like we did last year.
Okay.
But as it was a collaboration between our county, Chavis, Roosevelt, Eddy, and Lee counties, this year it will be in Eddy County. It's going to be in Artesia, though. So that's not too far down the road for us.
It's a 30-minute trip.
Yeah. And so
eat lunch at La Fonda. They got good food.
Well, actually, we'll feed you. We'll feed you.
Food covered. Never
so
mind.
We'll have food covered, and we're going to be bringing in people to talk about new technology that's going to help make your life a lot easier as a rancher.
Great.
And hope to have an open forum kind of dialogue with some ranchers that are doing some direct-to-market sales and things like that. And so it should be a lot of fun.
Is the ranching industry kind of, because when you think of ranching, you know, you think of family traditions, a lot of times family-run businesses and things.
It is.
But I would imagine the younger members of the family are more embracive of using modern technology to run the ranch, where the old folks are kind of like, no, we've been doing it by the wind. Or, you know what I mean?
You know,
is there that little bit of a struggle of old versus new mentality, or am I way off on that?
You know, maybe in some families that's the case, but honestly, in my time here with Chavis County working with these producers, they're always looking for the next new thing that's going to help them be more efficient, more sustainable, and continue the health of those livestock and make sure that their ranch is profitable moving forward.
Gotcha.
And so really the first line of conservation that really goes on in this county is our ranchers and farmers, and they've been ahead of the game. Politicians are just now talking about things that they've been doing that our producers have been doing for decades.
Yeah, well,
and so
you want to learn about the land? Ask
the
people that live on it. Don't ask the politicians and the people that live on it. That dig in it every day. They're going to know much more about that land than any politician in any other location.
And so, to me, the ranchers and the farmers and the producers in our community are the first to adopt new technology or new strategies and methods to produce better, healthier livestock for our table.
So that they're just looking for a better way to get the worm, early bird getting the worm kind of mentality. Gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, because if they don't take care of the land and they don't take care of the animals, they're out of business really quick.
And not to mention, I'm guessing farming and ranching is so much more regulated today than it was 30 years ago.
Heavily regulated.
Some for good, some for not good.
Yeah. Well, and you know, the more regulation that gets added onto it just increases the price that you see in the grocery store.
But that also causes these ranchers to be kind of that, let's find the faster, better way, because they're going to be crawling up our butt, wanting us to change something anyway.
Well, I think
protect a daisy.
I believe the producer's doing that anyway, and the legislation is less to make the producer do it so much as how do I word this? I think our producers are already there and way ahead of any politician's idea of what is green and what is responsible.
Yeah.
That our producers, especially here in Chavis County, you look up and down the valley. This winter time, to me, is some of the best time to see our management practices that we have here in Chavis County that are so, quote unquote, green, that are environmentally friendly. You have the manure going onto the fields. You have livestock that are feeding on crops that are growing out in those fields.
It's a real circle
so
of
those
life.
hooves are helping stir up the soil. They're adding organic matter back in. A lot of this winter wheat, they have very good production after they've been fed on by livestock. So you get this really great symbiotic relationship between ranchers and the farmer.
Yeah.
And so you're seeing a lot of green practices. When they flooded the Pecos not long ago, at the end of last year, you had all this water flowing out of the Pecos, and as soon as it was hitting those ag fields, it would turn clear. it would be crystal clear water. But if you look in the Pecos, it is muddy from all the erosion and the soil that is moving through with it. But what that shows you is just the environmental practices, the good soil health management that our producers are utilizing here in Chaves County, that soil was so stable when that water came rushing through that field that it stayed put.
They need to get drones and helicopters and make all kinds of videos of this and show this to every clown shoe in Washington that thinks they have an idea.
Just remember, I didn't say that.
But,
so, no, I think, and that's what we're trying to do with this Ranchers Workshop is just provide more technology, new information that's coming out. That hopefully makes the producer's life easier and helps them to be more profitable and moving forward.
Absolutely. So please reach out, come out, and like you said, if you're looking for resources, Drew's a full wealth of that, whether it's for personal or for commercial issues.
And if you have called in, I do have to say this, it has been a very busy time with us helping take over with 4-H, so I do have a stack of notes of people to call back. So if you have called in and I have not gotten back to you yet, I apologize. I will be calling you shortly, I promise.
Well, just curious, how's the search for the new 4-H director going? Are we close?
So that position is still open.
Okay.
It will close the middle of March.
Okay.
So if anybody is interested in a great career field that helps the youth of Chaves County, this is the one to come see us about.
Yeah, they. I know they deal with everything with youth and helping and organizing new groups to getting and bringing new youth into the programs to bringing in new adults and new folks to show, to teach these classes and to teach and to create these new opportunities.
Really developing life skills and leadership skills and things that they don't get anywhere else.
A lot of college prep stuff that you don't realize. So. It's parliamentary procedure to just problem solving. It's kind of like going back to we're talking with the farmers and ranchers and what they do. 4-H is setting the table, teaching those skills, teaching those critical thinking skills and things. Whether they're using a computer or a cow or a rifle, that's what they're doing is teaching those skills here.
That's it.
Someone I can't answer the phone. I guess the phone didn't ring in there. I don't know why it rings in here. But definitely that's something that we all need to definitely check out and be a part of. So good deal. Is there anything we missed?
That was it on my end.
Oh, probably.
Very good. Well, again, come out tomorrow to the library, and then again on Saturday, and then again sign up for these the cooking creations classes. They'll get underway here in a couple weeks. Please sign up this week. Get signed up and start learning about these classes.
And they can do that just by calling the office.
Absolutely. Call give the extension phone number.
575-622-3210.
And then, of course, you can always find Chaves County Extension on Facebook as well. If you have any questions, shoot a message through there, and someone will get back to you. Awesome. Well, thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mike.
All right. We'll see you next time. It is 8:49. Let's go ahead and get you up to date on local news and weather, Wall Street business update, and all of that next. Don't go away.
Now for your Pecos Valley News Update. I'm Jared Cirillo. The indoor pool at the Roswell Recreation and Aquatic Center remains temporarily closed until further notice as repairs and maintenance take place to rectify a mold issue. Facility staff personnel are directly contacting anyone with a pool membership and those registered for pool classes to inform them. The other recreation areas of the facility remain open. The City of Roswell and the Roswell Rec and Aquatic Center apologize for the inconvenience. The New Mexico Senate this week is approving a proposed ban on the local disposal of spent nuclear fuel unless the state provides its consent first. The bill from Democrat State Senator Jeff Steinborn of Las Cruces could impact a proposed multi-billion-dollar facility in southeastern New Mexico that's expected to temporarily store spent nuclear fuel from commercial power plants nationwide. The Nuclear Regulatory Commission could announce a decision as soon as next month on whether to grant a license to that project from Holtec International. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo reporting.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We have a high wind warning in effect today for gusts as high as 60 miles per hour. With that strong low pressure system moving through, we will get sunshine and fairly mild daytime highs in the mid-60s. Just watch out for that gusty wind. Well, the overnight hours, partly cloudy, cool, and breezy, are low in the mid-30s. Then we may get a shower or two tomorrow. Our afternoon high going up to 50 and windy. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics is scheduled on Tuesday to release January's Consumer Price Index data, expected to show how effective Federal Reserve policy tightening has been in taming inflation. Oil prices edged higher on Monday, rebounding from early losses as investors weighed Russia's plans to cut crude production and short-term demand concerns ahead of the U.S. inflation data. Coca-Cola will report its latest financial results on Tuesday. The Atlanta-based beverage company has been raising prices to deal with inflation, but has seen customers trade down to smaller package sizes or private label competitors to cut costs. Coke rolled out value packs with smaller size bottles in the U.S., Japan, and other markets for cost-conscious shoppers. Turkey's worst earthquake in almost a century has left a trail of destruction that could cost up to $84.1 billion, a business group said. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
Jennifer here from Trustmark Roofing, and I know you've heard me say that you can trust Trustmark, but I want you to know what that looks like in real life. A few years ago, we installed a beautiful new roof for an older woman who was recently widowed. She was an artist and colors were really important to her. So when she said she didn't like the color of a brand new roof, we took that seriously. She had picked the color and signed off on it, but I just kept thinking, if she's going to walk into her house every day and be disappointed, then we're just going to redo it. So we did. We ripped that beautiful new roof off and replaced it with a slightly different color, and she was thrilled. Yes, it cost us quite a bit of money to make her happy, but I want you to know you can trust Trustmark to make it exactly right every time. If you have any roofing needs, call us at 575-755-ROOF or find us online at trustmarkroofpros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
Roswell Skin Center, a brand new state-of-the-art facility located in the 400 Penn Plaza building here in Roswell, is now accepting new patients. Dr. Brandon Cometti and his team offer a full range of skin care services, including general dermatology, surgical and cosmetic procedures, including cutting-edge laser rejuvenation, Botox, filler, laser hair removal, chemical peels, and other non-invasive options to improve skin health and turn back the hands of time. Call and schedule your appointment at Roswell Skin Center today, 208-2509. That's 208-2509.
Get ready for the most out-of-this-world weekend Roswell has ever seen. UFO Expo 2023, March 10th through the 12th at the Roswell Convention Center. 3 days packed with 40 different events, including 10 different film screens, producers, celebrity personalities, and renowned speakers, and all just a few blocks from the UFO Museum and Research Center. The 3-day pass includes VIP parties, mixer tents, speakers, live music, film festival, cosplay events, and more. Get tickets and more info at ufoxpo.com. UFO Expo 2023, March 10th through the 12th at the Roswell Convention Center.
Hi, I'm Dr. Keon at Carabelli Dental. Same-day smiles are what we do. My passion is helping patients chew, talk, and live with confidence. That's why I'm one of the few doctors in the U.S. who can create beautiful same-day smiles with the latest digital implant technology. This procedure is life-changing. Just ask Sean.
Hi, I'm Sean. I've been that voice that you've heard on the radio for most of my life, but I'm also a dad to 2 amazing kids. I've had a million reasons to smile, but in all my old pictures, I was never smiling. Truth is that life of improper care and being dealt a bad hand genetically left me practically with no teeth. It affected everything from the way I ate, the way I talked, and of course how I interacted with people. And that's where Dr. Keon and Carabelli stepped in. They eased my fears. They explained every step of the process in a way that I could understand, and they made me feel almost like I was part of the team. And now I can't stop smiling. I have so much more confidence, and I love looking in the mirror now. I can't explain how much of a difference Dr. Keon's dental implant process made for me.
Our team can help you find your smile too. Come see us at Carabelli Dental, 575-622-4455.
We teach our kids to say please and thank you to total strangers. But we get so familiar in our marriages and families, we stop being polite to each other. Hi, This is Pastor Troy and my wife, Miss Julie Smotherman, for the Joy of Marriage.
In the love chapter of 1 Corinthians 13, it says that love is patient and kind. Love is not jealous or boastful or proud or rude. We emphasize being polite to each other in our family, which promotes an attitude of respect and brings peace in our home. Remember your manners with the person you love the most. Appreciate the things they do for you and let them know.
Being polite to each other can help you avoid conflict. Let's be polite to strangers, but let's not give our best to the people we don't live with. Let's give our best to each other.
If you have any questions or would like further information about the Joy of Marriage Ministry, please go to jomconference.com.
The tool used to measure your feet at the shoe store is called a Brannock device. The person that measures your feet at home for no reason is called a creep with a foot fetish. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is closing in on 8:57. Stay tuned next hour. We'll have the folks in the Roswell Chamber join us, get an update from Andrea here on what's going on there. This Saturday, the 18th, All Saints Catholic School is having their 28th annual Mardi Gras Gala Dinner and Dance. It's their annual event, all the proceeds benefiting All Saints Catholic School. It will be 6:30 to 11 at St. Peter's Catholic Church in the gym there. It's peppers. They're doing their Cajun and American style. So if you're not into, Cajun food, you're like, I want something that looks like American. Then they got that too. They got that for you too. And then of course they'll have the Cash Bar by Peppers, and then DJ Louis Nahar will be doing music. Ed and Kathy Cook, they always do their photography, so they take the fun pictures and everything. I'm not sure of sponsorships levels, but imagine if you called them and said, I got a bunch of cash to give you, they probably would take it from you. But reach out. There is platinum, gold, and silver table sponsorships available. I'm assuming there's a few left. If not, say I want to give you money, they'll figure it out. But the event includes a silent auction. They're going to have door prizes. Of course, the annual King and Queen contest, and then the King Cake, which is part of the tradition. If you buy a piece of king cake, which you should do, just don't start chowing down. There might be a baby in there, not a real baby, a little plastic one. And if you get a baby, then you win a prize. So you want a baby. So don't choke. They do have experts ready to Heimlich, but just in case, slow down on the chowing down on that. But to tickets and information, reach out. You can call 575-627-5744. Again, that's 627-5744. Or go to Facebook and look for All Saints Catholic School there, and you can get tickets as well. But like I said, the event's this Saturday, so you might want to get on the stick on that one. And you're looking for some more fun on February 24th. Grace Community Church, part of their music and media ministry, is having their fabulous February Follies Talent Show edition. Tickets are on sale now. Showtime is February 24th, 6 p.m. Doors open at 5:30 there at Grace Community Church, 935 West Mescalero. Refreshments will be after the show. Cost is only $5. Group rates are available. And you can go online to roswellgrace.com or call 575-623-5438 for more information. But, talent show edition. So I'm guessing some of the local talent will be on display doing, well, it says Follies. I don't know. It could be comedy, could be singing. Maybe it's like America's Got Talent. Maybe they'll shoot someone out of a cannon. I don't know. Based on insurance needs, they're probably not shooting anybody out of a cannon. I know some insurance people here, and they're probably frowning on that one. So, but yeah, a couple events you can get involved with there. All right, we're closing in on 9 o'clock. Town Hall News is coming up next. We'll be back here on the other side of news. Like I said, we'll talk with the folks from the chamber. And, of course, if you miss any part of the show, you can always go back ksvptv.com. Like if you wanted to see our interview we had last hour, you can go check it out now. Maybe wait till after 9.
People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy without...
Don't go away.
News hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Well, maybe we'll soon find out a bit more about 3 of the 4 airborne objects recently shot down by the U.S. military. Senators getting a closed-door briefing today. We'll see what, if anything, they might have to say once the briefing is over. He was not a student, and he was not a Michigan State University employee. Police say they have no idea why 43-year-old Anthony McRae opened fire on campus in East Lansing last night, killing 3 students, wounding 5 others before he took his own life. A U-Haul driver's rampage through the streets of Brooklyn, New York for close to an hour yesterday left 1 person dead, 8 others injured before police put a stop to it.
Police calling it a deadly rampage, not terrorism. The suspect identified as Wang Soor by his son Stephen Soor, who tells the Associated Press his father is mentally ill.
He has a history of this going out of control. Like, he has a mental disorder, I guess you would say.
The 62-year-old who once stabbed his brother has a record. The deadly spree took place in the morning. Witness Catherine Aronova says she saw a delivery person on an e-bike get run over and dragged by the U-Haul. A 44-year-old was killed and 8 other men injured, including 1 police officer. Julie Walker, New York.
The government's latest consumer price report is out this morning, and the Heritage Foundation's Joel Griffith says that, yes, we still have a problem.
Inflation is tracking nearly 3 times the Fed's target rate of 2%. That core rate, which excludes those volatile items like energy, is still well in excess of 5% year over year.
Nikki Haley has jumped into the race for the presidential nomination, joining former President Trump in that pursuit. South Carolina governor once worked for Mr. Trump as the United States ambassador to the UN. Wall Street, the Dow's down 217 points, NASDAQ off 29. More on these stories at townhall.com.
From the creators of I Can Only Imagine comes Jesus Revolution.
If you look a little deeper, if you look with love, you'll see an entire generation searching for all the right things, just in all the wrong places.
Based on a true revolution.
You're going to need a bigger church.
Jesus Revolution. Rated PG-13. Some material may be inappropriate for children under 13. See it early February 22nd. In theaters everywhere beginning February 24th. Go to JesusRevolution.movie.
America is giving away its inventions and technology to China.
The Chinese Communist Party intends to surpass us and to be the world leader in innovative technology.
The shocking new movie exposes the potential Chinese takeover of 5G and the internet, threatening America's economic and military security.
Dominating technology means you dominate the world itself.
Watch the movie Innovation Race now on demand or DVD at salemnow.com. salemnow.com.
20 people have been killed in a head-on collision of a bus and a van on a busy thoroughfare in South Africa.
Recovery operations are underway on a major road in South Africa's northern province, Limpopo. Emergency scene a horrific collision. Officials say the cause of the crash is as yet unknown, but there have been heavy rains in the area. The bus is said to have rolled off a bridge into a river below, landing on its side around 8 p.m. on Monday.
The BBC's Pumsa Falani. NATO Secretary General Stoltenberg downplaying the significance of Finland and Sweden simultaneously joining the alliance as Turkey refuses to ratify their membership, mostly due to a dispute with Sweden. Stoltenberg says the main question is not whether Finland and Sweden are ratified together. The main question is that they are both ratified as full members as soon as possible. Townhall.com. Republican Senator Tim Scott is said to be nearing an announcement that he is running for president.
Scott has one of the most conservative voting records in the Senate, but as the only black Republican, has also become the go-to point man on issues touching on race. Fellow Republican Senator John Barrasso praises Scott as having what he calls a Ronald Reagan Morning in America hopeful vision for the country. Scott's plans come amid a growing number of contenders who either have or are expected to announce their own campaigns. Among them, former President Trump and former Governor and UN Ambassador Nikki Haley, as well as Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. Bob Agnew reporting.
T-Mobile wireless customers reported widespread service outages across the U.S. late yesterday. That according to a couple of websites that track service interruptions. Again on Wall Street this hour, stocks are in the red. The Dow down 208 points and the S&P is off 14. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Tracing their notes.
Of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
It's only Tuesday.
I know.
I feel like it's Thursday, but it's only Tuesday. And it is Valentine's Day. See, I've already done my thing, so in my head I'm out.
I saw something kind of interesting a few minutes ago. It was the phrase "be mine" on the little conversation hearts. It's not appropriate anymore.
Why?
A little possessive, isn't it? I never really thought about it until it was presented to me. But yeah, be mine. It's like kind of demanding, don't you think?
Well, if that's where we're going, we gotta wipe out a whole stuff.
Like
the entire 80s.
Put a question mark on it, that would make it appropriate. Be mine?
Because as soon as you did it, all I could think of is that, be my little baby, baby, my darling. Like, now we got to get rid of that.
Yep. No, the whole 80s.
Using your logic.
All of the 80s is canceled.
All the 80s.
John Hughes.
Woke culture hates the 80s because we were all crazy in the 80s, right? But at the same time, they want to bring back everything that's 80s. So how does that work?
Yeah.
Right.
Just saying.
I was hurt when they tried to get rid of Baby It's Cold Outside because that's like my favorite.
I love
how
that
can
song.
That's just, you're mad at the world if you're mad at that song. Right? It's like you're just mad at the world now when you're doing that kind of stuff. It's like, geez. But, yeah. I'm trying to think, though. There are a few of those that were creepy, if I remember right. Like the little heart. I just don't remember what they were, but I remember like in 3rd grade or 2nd grade, and you get the little hearts. And I remember reading a couple of them.
Admittedly, the in the back seat now with an exclamation point, that was inappropriate.
No, but there was something I can't remember. It was off-putting. I just don't remember. Like I remember as a kid saying, "I'm like, yeah, that's creepy," but I don't remember what it was. It wasn't Be Mine. It was something.
Well, in the 80s, we had a sense of humor, too.
Yeah. It might have been something like Put the Lotion in the Basket or something like that. It was on there. I don't remember what it was.
What kind of conversation hearts were you giving out? And my question.
It puts the lotion on its skin.
That's right.
I started watching Mannequin last night, and I realized how much of a sense of humor we really had.
Mannequin is a great movie.
I've seen that movie in 100 years.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah. With the girl from Sex and the City. What's her name?
Kim Cattrall.
Kim Cattrall. Thank you.
That was one of her very first movies.
It was. Yep. And the guy from Designing Women was Hollywood.
Oh, yeah, Meshack.
Hollywood, yeah.
Hollywood!
Yeah, I remember that movie. I've seen it a million times, but I haven't seen it in like 30 years. But I remember because you're kids our age and you watch you have HBO, they literally show the same 7 movies over and over and over again, and Mannequin was in the rotation there for a while.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen that movie, Silverado, Beastmaster, there's several movies.
All the John Hughes music.
Yeah, pretty much, all of the 16 Candles, Breakfast Club. Yeah, you name it, all all those were
16 Candles, Pretty in Pink. None of that could be made today.
Oh, no, not at all.
Because they're all considered Predator movies.
Revenge of the Nerds? I mean, there's no way.
Revenge of the Nerds.
I was not allowed to watch Revenge of the Nerds growing up. I had to sneak and watch it. So
I love that
hope my folks are listening.
I have yet to see any Police Academy come up at all.
Police Academy.
Police Academy. They were getting bad though. When
Yeah.
you're, once you get like 4 and 5 police academies, and you're like, all right, we're running out of stuff to do.
Yeah. 2.
Yeah.
We're good at 2. I just saw that they're bringing out another Fast and Furious movie.
The 10th one.
I'm like, are you kidding me?
X.
It's Fast and the Furious and everything that will never, ever, ever happen in real life ever.
Well, the last movie, they took cars to space. Where are we going to go from here?
Yes. I think they kind of pride themselves on the fact that they go ridiculous with that. But the funny part is, if you watch the very first Fast and Furious,
it's good.
Oh, yeah.
It's actually
100%.
now. Granted, there's a few ridiculous stunts in there, but it was a movie.
In the first
it was
one,
a movie with a story, and
I'll say the only thing that was a little bit ridiculous in the first movie was that NOS was made to be such a huge thing.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
like NOS made all the difference, and then NOS isn't that big of a thing.
Right.
But after coming out of the theater, I drove a little too fast that night. I drove a little too fast.
when I was a kid, I think a lot of people got knocked out after watching Rocky movies when they get all of a sudden they come here, they pick the biggest dude and see you later.
That's
this
not
little
how
dude
it
just
works.
watched Rocky.
Notice not a lot of people try to run up staircases. They just try to, get into fights.
Oh yeah. Well, that requires cardio. We don't do that unless there's a cheeseburger.
We're
at the
choosy
end.
with our homages.
But we got down in a
wormhole,
in a little wormhole here. But Revenge of the Nerds though, that was one of my favorites.
We had a flashback moment.
That's right.
That's all.
This is my everyday. By the way.
Gen X, baby.
It's so funny. I've never seen a group of people collectively come to the realization of what a commercial was trying to say at the same time until this last Sunday, when everybody was sitting around watching. It was like 6 people on the back patio watching the commercial where the rabbit was like pushing people into the holes, and we were all like, "Oh, rabbit holes, right, all of us together, rabbit holes." It was like on Family Feud when they reveal the answer and everybody in the audience has to say the thing. We were all like, "Oh, rabbit holes."
It still looked dementedly creepy.
It was.
I forgot to mention that.
It was a weird commercial.
And I think I've talked about this on the show. I have a huge dislike for people in furry costumes.
Understandably.
Oh, so you'll never be a furry?
No. No. Like, it's to
Mike's
the point.
persona is non-existent.
No. I will punch them. I'm that. It's almost phobia-like.
Wow.
It's like they used to mess with me. Like when we go to remotes. And we'd be out here doing remotes, and then the Let's Play Entertainment guys would show up in their thing, and Thomas and I'd be like, "Hey, Mike, come meet us." Like, get that dude away from me. I don't. No, you want to interview? No, don't get. There's some kind of thing that creeps me out about them that I don't want nothing to do with them. I don't know
They're
if
big and they don't talk. I understand.
Well, I don't know if it was when I was a kid and they take you to these things and try to make you be all friendly with them, and I wanted nothing to do with them then.
You must have like a post-traumatic Chuck E. Cheese.
I was just going to
situation
say
happen.
Showbiz Pizza because it wasn't Chuck E. Cheese. It was Showbiz Pizza.
I'm thinking
They were a little weird.
And their
Stupid.
animatronics were like,
one of those stupid mouses done mess with my head. But to this day, when I see those people in costume, I go the other way. I'm like, I don't want nothing to do with it. Y'all have fun. Y'all want to do that weirdness. God bless you.
Yeah.
Stay away from me. I don't want nothing to do with that. So,
That's fair.
So that commercial already was like, I don't like it because there's a stupid bunny, giant bunny in the woods of all places, just standing there.
Yeah.
Come on, that doesn't look like Pennywise to you as a rabbit. It's like that Winnie the Pooh movie, but they did the Tricks Rabbit and did it with that instead. Have you all seen that trailer?
Blood and Honey.
Oh, there's a movie. It's a horror movie with Winnie the Pooh.
Blood and Honey.
Oh yeah, it's about to come out.
Blood and Honey. Because it just entered the public domain, not the Disney Winnie the Pooh, but the H.H. Milne.
So I watched the full trailer the other day. So the premise of the movie is Christopher Robin is a kid. He's got Winnie the Pooh and all, and then he grows up to adult and leaves the woods, goes to be an adult. Well, he comes back to bring a girlfriend, and the bear's mad that he left. And so it's a whole, but it's a guy and a bear. This is where I don't get, like, is it a real bear guy or is it a Jason with a bear mask. I don't know
Because it does
that
come
part.
off as like a dude in a bear costume.
Yeah, it does look that way, but
I'm gonna have to go check out that trailer now because I'm intrigued.
But it's called what's it called again?
Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
Blood and Honey.
Okay.
That's the name
Sounds
of it.
like something Georgia would watch.
It's right up there with Cocaine Bear.
Right.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that. Have you heard
that's
that
got
whole
double
story?
feature
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Goodness.
It is a weird. It's
It
so
is based loosely on a true story.
very loosely.
Yeah.
In that a bear got into some cocaine.
Yeah.
Like
They
a
figured
kilo
out.
of cocaine and
Right.
did go and kill people.
Oh my
Right.
god.
And then it had a heart attack and died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so now they've created a movie around Cocaine Bear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's basically a cartel or something dumped their cocaine in the middle of the woods or whatever. and
Like in
they're-
Montana
got
or
into it,
Idaho
yeah.
or something.
I'm waiting
Yeah.
for this to take Sharknado status, where they're like Cocaine Bear 3,
Right?
and then it's like Meth Bear. At that point,
They're going to come falling out of the sky.
right?
Oh my gosh.
Cocaine Bear.
Bearnado. Cocaine Bearnado.
Yeah, that's right. But anyway, so there's a couple of Oscar-worthy
Mushroom
performances.
Bear.
With him.
It's just a bear tripping.
But yeah, whatever. There's some good stuff coming
There
out.
is.
So,
There is indeed.
I kind of want to see, after seeing the trailer for the Winnie the Pooh thing, at first I was like, this is...
It's not something I'm going to go see in the theaters, I don't think, but
I oddly think it might be an interesting story. Even if it just, the concept that Christopher Robbins goes and then comes back and the bear's ticked off at him, that's kind of an interesting angle to me. I'm kind of curious, how do they play that out?
Well, it makes you wonder what's going on with Christopher Robin because Winnie the Pooh is his imagination.
it's the best pickup line ever. You want to come back and see my 100-acre wood? I mean, it's the best pickup line ever.
So is this like Fight Club, with Winnie the Pooh kind of situation going on?
Oh, I'm going to have to go check this out.
Yeah, it looks, but it's a slasher horror, like Friday the 13th type movie, but it looks like it's got a little story, maybe. I could be wrong, and I just saw
I'm
the
going to
whole
make a
story in the
prediction
trailer.
now. The monster in the end is Christopher Robin.
Probably.
That's my prediction, is that he takes this woman back in because it was in his imagination.
Yeah.
He's the
He's
one who
turning
killed. Yep.
serial killer.
I'm going to go with Man Bear Pig.
Man Bear Pig could be.
Ooh.
Half man, half
South
bear.
Park's Man Bear Pig.
Half pig.
I'm going to go with Winnie the Pooh Fight Club.
I'm going to go with a crackhead in the woods.
What happens in the woods
That's right.
stays in the woods.
This clown thinks he's Winnie the Pooh. All right, it is 17 minutes after 9 o'clock. Let's go ahead and get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We have a high wind warning in effect today for gusts as high as 60 miles per hour. With that strong low pressure system moving through, we will get sunshine and fairly mild daytime highs in the mid 60s. Just watch out for that gusty wind. Well, the overnight hours, partly cloudy, cool and breezy, are low in the mid 30s. Then we may get a shower or two tomorrow. Our afternoon high going up to 50 and windy. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Currently, 52 here in Roswell. Humidity is at 35%. Winds are out of the west at 14, gusting to 30 miles per hour. We are in a high wind warning, in case the wind didn't tell you. We have a high wind warning in effect through 5 p.m. this evening. Today, the good news, sunny and 64. That's the good news. The bad news, winds. West winds 25 to 35, gusting as high as 45 miles per hour today. Tonight, mostly clear, overnight low of 34, south winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. Wednesday, cooler and windier. So the one good part, we don't even have that tomorrow. So 20% chance of rain before 11, 80% chance it won't rain. Mostly sunny, high of 50 for the high tomorrow. So we're going to be about 15 degrees cooler and windier. Winds will be out of the southwest, 15 to 25, later increasing 25 to 35. Could see wind gusts as high as 50 miles per hour tomorrow. Tomorrow night, out of nowhere comes patchy blowing snow before 11. Mostly clear with an overnight low of 21. They mentioned nothing of snow until patchy blowing snow tomorrow night. Winds will be out of the west, 10 to 15 miles per hour. Thursday, starting to calm back down. Not going to be warm, 44, but sunny. North winds, much calmer, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Increasing clouds, but a high near 50 on Friday. And the weekend, actually pleasant, at least what they're saying. Mostly sunny and 60 Saturday. Partly cloudy, 68 on Sunday. And we'll be pushing 70 on President's Day Monday. But breezy. is the term they use. So we'll see. All right, 9:19. We're going to take a 3-minute commercial break, and then we will talk with the people you've been hearing joking and everything else. Who them people? The ones that didn't sound like me. We'll talk to them on the other side. Don't go away.
Pecans are a big deal here in Chaves County. We have some of the biggest orchards in the country, and lots of us have pecan trees in our yards. Hi, this is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company. Whether you have one pecan tree or 1,000 of them, this time of year, every pecan tree needs fertilizing. So come see us at Roswell Seed Company, and we'll get you fixed up with the right fertilizer for your pecan trees, so that next year, your nuts will be big and beautiful. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
Looking for a delicious lunch or dinner? Asian Market brings the flavors of the East to Roswell. Dine in or carry out. Sample the best Asian cuisine in town. Try their stir-fry rice with pork, chicken, beef, or all three. How about their pad thai chicken, sesame chicken, or sweet and sour chicken? Or try their glass noodle and Thai beef salad, all made fresh to order. Dine in or call ahead and pick up at the Asian Market today.
Hi, this is Nok. Come see me at the Asian Market, 5702 South Main in Roswell. Call 575-840-5309.
Heart disease is one of the leading causes of death in New Mexico, but it's preventable. If you have high blood pressure or cholesterol, are overweight, smoke, or have other risk factors, it's time to talk to a cardiologist. The cardiology team at Artesia General Hospital has the experience and latest diagnostic technologies to help you identify your risk factors and diagnose and treat any heart health concerns you might face. One beat at a time, we're here for every heart. Request your cardiology appointment today at artesiageneral.com/heart.
If you need a Kubota that works and plays hard, stop looking. You'll find everything you need at Amigo Machinery. When it comes to tough Kubota tractors, mowers, construction equipment, and utility vehicles, all with low-rate financing, Amigo Machinery is your one-stop shop. We are passionately committed to providing our customers with the highest quality products, most innovative solutions, and services delivered with integrity and professionalism. Stop by Amigo Machinery in Roswell or see us online at amigo-machinery.com.
The ultimate Wi-Fi experience is now available to you thanks to Smart Home Wi-Fi with Plateau. Get fiber-to-home technology 100 times faster than the average household internet speed. Plateau has multiple plans to fit your family. With Fast, get true 100 megs per second download and upload speed. With Faster, get 500 megs. And with Fastest, get 16 gigs of download and upload speed. Learn more at plateautel.com. Get the speed you need with Plateau. Tried, true, trusted.
Valentine's Day is almost here, and Dairy Queen on North Main in Roswell has a sweet treat for your sweetheart. Cupid Cakes. That's right, a delicious and delectable Dairy Queen treat, perfectly sliced for two and priced right at a sweet $12.99. Choose one of 3 flavors, like the Triple Truffle Blizzard Cupid Cake, the Choco Cherry Love Cupid Cake, or the Dipped Strawberry Cupid Cake. It's the perfect treat for two to show your sweetheart how special they really are. Pick up your Cupid Cakes today from Dairy Queen on North Main in Roswell, where happy tastes good.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Bamboo plants can grow up to 36 inches in a day. So if you're told you're growing like a weed, you can say, "No, I'm growing like a bamboo." Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 23 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, of course, Executive Director from the Roswell Chamber of Commerce, Andrea Moore, with us. And also with her is J-Lo. Just kidding. I'm sure you'd get that all the time.
No, that was my nickname for the longest time till I got married, so that's good.
Jenny Lopez Borbas.
Correct.
Joining us. And she's with the Southern New Mexico SHRM Chapter. That's I missed the last word on that.
Yes, the chapter.
Which she will explain what that means, because I'm sure you're all like me going, what? We'll explain that. But good morning, ladies. How's everybody doing today?
Thanks for having us. And
anytime.
Thanks for getting us in a day early.
No problem.
The chamber is on their way back to Santa Fe.
Yeah, you'll be up north tomorrow.
We will. We're going to go help celebrate with EDC and be a part of their reception tomorrow night. So if you guys have not paid or RSVP'd to go up to Santa Fe and have the reception to help showcase Chaves County and Roswell, then give Mike Espiritu and his crew a call, and they'd be happy to get you in for that. And then Thursday is Ag Fest, and we are so excited to be able to go back and have a booth and showcase agriculture in southeastern New Mexico, Chaves County.
Very good. So I imagine you get folks from the dairy industry and, well, you know, we have
farmers,
other industries.
ranchers,
Farmers,
anything
ranchers,
that is ag related will be there. So
green chili guys to our dairymen and ranchers.
Absolutely.
Everybody out
So
there,
we're very, very excited. And today I have another guest. We've been bringing guests in periodically because we have partnered with Leprino and specifically the Southeastern New Mexico SHRM chapter to bring in an HR exhibition, basically. And
SHRM is not what I thought it was. Yes,
No,
I was thinking it was something different.
So I'm going to give the microphone over to Jenny, and she's going to explain exactly what we've got going on in March.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, again, I appreciate the opportunity.
Thanks for coming in and putting up with our jokes and everything.
Listeners. No, it's great. It's great. I love the banter. I really do.
Well, she likes our movies, or at least same genre, so we can relate there.
Right.
So.
We have an understanding.
That's right. That's right.
So to speak on this is actually to give a little history about how this all got started. So when I moved here back in 2006.
Okay.
So I've been a part of this community for a while.
For a long
now.
time.
Yeah. I consider myself transplanted.
I'm the same way.
Yeah.
I'm from Maryland, but I moved here in 2000, so I'm pretty much a homer now in Roswell.
Ditto.
So I'm originally from Chicago.
Okay.
So, you know, being a big city girl, we have access to a lot of different things.
But you can appreciate what they have here because you came from a big place like I did. People talk about Barnes but you don't realize how great you have it here compared to the hustle and bustle of a major city.
The community here is just a beautiful thing.
Absolutely.
And my kids were born here and they've been raised here. You got to meet my daughter.
Yeah, she was in the play that just a few weeks ago.
At the
Communal
House on
Theater.
Lee.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, you know, the community is really important to me. It holds a special place in my heart. But when I moved here, I did come into this town with previous HR experience, previous HR knowledge, looking to connect, wanting to. But unfortunately, at that time, there was no chapter in this area.
Gotcha.
In all of New Mexico, there are actually only 4 chapters that are just kind of like underneath the national, in a sense, because there is a national membership that you would sign up for.
Okay.
And that is like a global stage of HR advisors.
So is this kind of like a AAA or American Legion for HR?
I would say it's a high class version of that.
I'm not saying you get a discount card for free cheeseburgers,
right.
But you know what I mean.
Because
the same
when you're talking about especially legalities and things that change almost annually.
Sure.
You want to be connected to what's happening, and that's going to affect not just the global stage, but also in your state.
Gotcha.
And so that's why at the state level, New Mexico has 4 chapters. One that's located in Santa Fe, one that's in Farmington, one in Las Cruces, and then Albuquerque.
Okay, so kind of covered the corner, sort of.
Sort of, because if you think about it, that's up there,
and
to
Albuquerque
the side.
Central, but
Right, and so when I came in here, coming from Chicago, looking for that connection, it just wasn't here in this area. Fast forward 17 years, and in 2019, I actually got hired on at Leprino.
Okay.
Best decision ever. I absolutely love it out there. You know, I can't speak for anybody else and their experiences, and I won't speak for anybody who works out there, and I'm definitely not speaking on behalf of the company itself. But for my personal experience, I do absolutely love it out there, and they've garnered me a lot of opportunities. Just to make connections.
And I imagine you're doing their HR stuff out there for Leprino.
Yes. I'm one of a few because it is a plant that holds almost 600
They do have a lot of
employees.
employees.
Yes.
Probably need some help.
It's a team effort, which is why I wanted to go out there, because at the time I was a HR department of 1, which is extremely difficult.
Sure.
When you're doing it all, you're doing payroll and you're doing hiring and separations and the whole 9 yards. So being part of a team was a big thing for me. So I was kind of encouraged to kind of get in touch with a chapter And the chapter that I chose was Las Cruces.
Okay.
And so when I signed up, the member services director that's on the board for the New Mexico, so it's called Southern New Mexico chapter. She reached out to me. Her name's Vicky Lusk.
Okay.
And she said, I'm from Roswell, but I've lived in Las Cruces for a long time, but it's always been a desire of mine to see something happen in Roswell. The thing about chapters is you have to have at least 50 members in order to have a chapter.
Okay.
Not to mention, there's bylaws, there's board of directors.
Sure.
There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes when it comes
you use
to
your parliamentary procedure or Robert's rules to run it. Yeah.
This is all voluntary.
Mm-hmm.
So it's also hard to get people to get committed to doing this. So as her and I were talking, she was like, I'd really like to see something. This was just on the heels of, just being exposed to Juanita Jennings and Kathy Lay and what they were doing with the UFO
with the city
Festival.
and Main Street.
I know that Roswell has the capacity to hold some really big things, but who's making that happen, right? So I told her, let me reach out to the chamber. Let me talk to Andrea. Let me see what we can get started as far as something here.
Mm-hmm.
And then what came out of that is a decision to have kind of like a subcommittee.
Okay.
So we are part of the Southern New Mexico chapter, which is in Las Cruces, but we are like the Eastern New Mexico committee that is in this area.
So is the goal to grow it to a full chapter?
Oh, sure.
Absolutely. That's the end game here on it? Gotcha.
Yeah. But not forcing it in such a way that
Happen
it dies
naturally.
Right.
The goal is not to make it that. The goal is to get HR and some of the ideologies here. The side effect is we get a chapter out of it.
Right.
That's kind
and
of the main
people don't
point.
realize that it doesn't matter if you are a business of one or 101, you need HR. That is something I personally have learned in the 2.5 years that I've been at the chamber, that it doesn't matter when it's been just me in the office or we've had, 3 or 4 employees. I still have to be on top of certain things.
Sure.
And that's also kind of where I'm reaching out, because I've talked to Jenny about different HR things, as well as my other HR friends around the community going, do I really need to do this? And they're like, yes, you do.
Well, I imagine, especially when you get a smaller mom and pop where you just have a couple employees or you and your spouse or something.
Yeah.
HR is a 4-letter word. You're not thinking about, it's like, oh, great, how am I going to get sued or how am I going to get thing? And it's like, no, you don't realize that HR, yes, we all think of that, protecting rights and all, which is very much a part of it. But human resources is to give you structure and to give you, it makes your job a lot easier,
Absolutely.
too. Because at the end of the day, now you have a plan in place for conduct for your employees, their benefits, your benefits, what you expect, what they expect. All of that's on the table now. And there's no, oh, well, I thought, you know what I mean? And so we're a place like a small business where there's not a formal thing per se, and you just kind of like, well, they do all this, I do all that. And that works, but there's going to be a moment where that's going to be a problem.
Right.
And HR can be in place to keep that from happening. It really is a good place to kind of set your infrastructure and how your personnel and how your business is done. And HR is a tool to help you do that, not an adversarial tool to make sure you're doing it right. We all look at it as a way it's coming down to correct on us. And it's like, no, it's coming down as a way to teach you how to do this for your business.
So case in point, in July of last year, when Healthy Workplaces Act became a thing, what a lot of small businesses didn't know was that it affects employers who have one employee.
Sure.
One employee.
With the sick leave and all the things that are now new.
Where now they have to track and give each employee 1 hour of sick time for every 30 hours worked. I mean, even the massive amount of trying to keep track. Okay, you worked 30 hours, maybe you worked 45 hours this week, you still get 1 hour sick leave, but we're going to push that to the next one and then tally, and then make sure you're abiding by that.
You got 1.2 hours of...
Right. If you don't give this benefit, you're looking at literally breaking the law.
Sure. But here's the thing. Once you get it in place and once you set it up, it's actually going to make you better organized, better
Yes.
better aware of your resources and what's available to you. And God forbid, someone calls in sick, maybe you got a plan in place now to handle that. And that's, yes, you could get in trouble for not doing it, but that's not what we're trying to do.
Right. We're trying to protect you.
Yeah,
we're
teach you on that. Learn the proper ways to do this. And we pick on small business because they don't have the luxury of a Leprino that has an HR person, let alone a staff.
Right. Correct.
Generally, it's you, and you're making the donuts. You're doing the payroll. You're doing the books. You're doing the inventory. You're doing all that. And guess what might get? Oh, Johnny's got to work today. But Johnny, then you're like, well, crap, I got to worry about this. And so we get that.
Yeah.
We're trying to help you so that doesn't happen to you. So you can focus on the books.
Right.
And HR is already covered. And
there's a lot of stuff out there that is different between hourly and salary employees too. And a lot of that stuff then also will overlap. And you have to know, okay, these employees over here are hourly. Okay, I have to treat them HR wise differently and do this. Oh, this is my salary group. This is what we have to do. Oh, and then here's the stuff that we have to make sure we're doing for both.
Sure.
And it's kind of a big deal.
And to be honest, it's also a protector for the business.
Yes.
Because let's face it, sometimes employees make outrageous demands.
Yes, they do.
And you're like, that's ridiculous. I'm not going to do that. And these HR rules protect you from that too.
Correct.
So it is a two-way street. That's what, instead of looking at it as the IRS agent showing up to audit you, it's here as hey, are you in compliance? Let's figure it out. So guess what? When an employee does complain because something happens, you're not in trouble. You've covered all your bases.
Yeah, HR has gotten a bad rap over the years.
Yeah.
Even in it, you'll hear them, oh, HR,
Exactly.
And I always talk to our new hires and I say, listen, yes, sometimes I'm privy to those situations where we have to separate people. But here's what you need to understand. I didn't separate them. Some of the actions and the things that they did led to their separation. Now, my real job, the reason I'm here today, is to bring you on board and make you successful in the role that you're in so that you can grow in your career.
Yeah.
And I'm here to help you get from point A to whatever other point you want to get to. That is my purpose. These other things are all administrative, but that's not why I'm here.
But that's what people get scared about.
Right.
And it's like, you're seeing what happens when all the other things failed.
When all the bad things happen.
Right.
So we're trying to avoid that. So we're in place now, learning, teaching, and implementing these things. And this is, now we're here in Roswell. We can not only get more businesses involved, but let's educate our businesses.
Right.
Let our Leprinos and let our Crumlins and let our big businesses take advantage of some of this, but may already have this in place. But now we can incorporate some of that into our folks on Main Street or our folks that have that mom and pop on the corner, the donut shop or the flower shop or the whatever.
Exactly why we're here, because we are bringing a conference to Roswell in March.
Come and learn.
Yes.
And there will be food, because there's always food.
Oh, yeah. You can't have a conference without food. You just can't. So with that, Andrea's heart and talking to her about her struggles and what she was going through, we realized not just how important Shrimp National is, because again, National gives you a lot of information and you have access to a lot of different resources, but the chapters are there to have that networking that's close knit. Okay, we're all here in the state of New Mexico. We're all going through the same legislative issues and things like that.
Let's share resources.
Right,
Absolutely.
exactly. So we have partnered. I was fortunately, sorry if anybody from Southern New Mexico Shrimp is listening right now. I am glad to be. I was appointed to their board, the Las Cruces board.
So some of them might be giving you condolences.
As a member area director.
Sure.
And so what that means is that although, the majority of them are in Las Cruces, I'm here trying to help this committee make something happen. And what's great
You're
is...
kind of the remote representative for them.
Yes, absolutely.
And so while, Andrea and I, part of the committee, were here, as is Veronica Moreno. She lives in town, but she works in Artesia.
Okay.
We have Melanie Weber, who works in Artesia. Bill Thalman, who works in Artesia. We have Gus Calvacante, who works here. And then we actually have Benito Gonzalez, he's out in Portales. And so what we're
So
trying
you're the
to
liaison
do,
for those folks.
Yes,
Back
absolutely.
to those folks.
and we're trying to take this here now, Artesia later, Portales,
Sure.
Carlsbad, and get the eastern side to get these opportunities.
And we have enough, like, let's face it, Roswell and Carlsbad, Roswell's the most unique small town in the country.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And so it's got the big business feel, but Carlsbad, in Hobbs and that area, depending on oil and gas, obviously, they swell up bigger than Roswell sometimes.
Booms.
Oh, yeah.
And it crashes,
Yeah.
but it booms again. And
Sure.
so it's always going to have that cyclical up and down, but that doesn't mean we have to go anywhere.
Absolutely.
We can still be here. And so what we're bringing is really great. And if I can just kind of talk on the speakers, we're going to have 3 different, not speakers per se, because the last group that's coming in, it's a group of 3 speakers. But our first speaker, her name is Jill Avery.
Okay.
She has a consulting business in Albuquerque. So she's an HR consultant.
Okay.
She actually is the owner of Southwestern HR Consulting. And then she's co-owner of Maximum Reports. And she's going to be speaking on the Healthy Workplaces Act, which is still important because now that we're almost a year into this, it's what are the pitfalls? What are they seeing? And where can employers and small businesses
now that it's in place for a year,
protect
how do we
themselves?
do? Yeah.
Exactly.
What have been the folly of others that we can learn from so we don't make those mistakes?
Sure. I'm very curious to see how many people statewide were openly trying to be compliant, or how many people fought the curve and said, I'm not doing that till someone comes in here and puts a gun to my head.
There's a lot of that too.
Yeah.
It's an inevitable.
Sure.
And you can fight it.
And
but
unfortunately,
it's to your,
Well, and unfortunately, we're just coming out of COVID where people are a little defensive on their business anyway, where you rightly or wrongly, or however you feel about it, they came in and were shutting businesses down and things like that. And so you're combating that already. They've had enough government types tell them how to do what they're supposed to be doing, and so you're kind of get lumped in with that.
Right. She's also going to be talking about cannabis in the workplace.
Okay.
Which is a big deal.
That's something that's fallen into our lap here in the last year or two here.
Can we be testing prior to employment? I mean, is that acceptable anymore?
I don't know. I mean, it's legal.
Exactly.
Unless you have a position that,
there's an exact reason for it.
Yeah, like a doctor or someone who's about to go into surgery or something.
Right.
It's really hard to.
You still have those policies in place that say you can't come to work compromised.
Sure.
And if you do, and God forbid you make a mistake or an accident happens, you're going to be held accountable. But it's one of those
Well, it's harder to tell, if someone's tired, versus drunk. Drunk's a little easier to tell.
Right.
But at the end of the day, we got to treat them the same. Like you got, you got whatever we have in place for people in alcohol at workplace.
Right.
You almost mirror it for the marijuana.
Absolutely.
And just hope you're better at spotting when someone's trying to circumnavigate it, because it's a little harder for someone, especially if someone that smokes marijuana all the time. You might notice when they're not on it because they act a little different.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Being aware of the surroundings in your situation and seeing if somebody seems impaired.
Sure.
And capturing that in the moment before something bad happens.
Sure. But then what happens when they get caught? Do you treat it? Is it a fireable thing, or is it considered like alcohol as a disease and something you have to be treated?
It most definitely can be a terminable offense.
And that's where I'm wondering, because, now people are making cases where if you're an alcoholic, that's alcoholism, that's a disease.
Yeah.
You can't fire someone because of a disease.
Right.
I wonder, if now cannabis, they've linked, there's no addiction properties and things like that. So I don't know how that's going to work, but that's something that's something lawyers are going to have to figure out.
To say on both those topics.
I would imagine we're all a little bit learning on how to navigate this because it's very new territory.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And there are some I can't think of the term. We're on the legislative floor right now.
Oh yes, some bills.
There you go.
Yeah.
There's some bills right now that are being worked out, and that can have some really big I don't want to say consequences, but ramifications for some businesses.
Yep.
But and the other slippery slope is some people are on marijuana because a doctor told them they have to take it.
Right.
And that changes the ball game altogether.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is
Yes.
a doctor prescribed medicine. That's no different
Right.
than
Than
if
an
you're taking your
accommodation.
diabetes meds
Yes.
or your blood pressure meds or your cancer patient
Exactly.
meds, whatever it is.
Exactly.
you know.
So she's going to be looking at Healthy Workplaces Act, cannabis in the workplace, and then just some things that have come out for the 2023 New Mexico legislative update.
Okay.
So that's just one speaker.
So if you're confused about this as we're just having
need to
here,
be there.
come to
Sign
this
up.
and listen and let's hear what we're talking about.
And then our second speaker, his name is James Abieta Stevens. He's currently the state council director. So again, we have these chapters, right? And then there's the state council that kind of, it puts together leadership. So recently I went up to Albuquerque and all these voluntary boards got together. We went through some leadership. We learned about Roberts and how
Robert's rules.
Robert's rules and all the things and what it takes to actually be on a board and how specific it is. And so that was some great information that they provided. He's also part of the advisory council. And he's a licensed mental health therapist. So he's going to be speaking on putting the human in human resources. So it's a mental health topic, and then just kind of what it says here, workplace employee assistance programs versus mental health. Because sometimes we have these employee assistance programs as companies, and we have them set up so that if there's a crisis and there's a situation, you have somebody that's either going through some really tough things or in a really dark place.
Sure.
That they have a trained resource. And that's the key, a trained resource.
I love that. I mean, you hear about and then we're talking Google and big companies like this. They have like these fitness rooms and places like that. Why not have a licensed therapist on site available to employees and things?
Access to somebody who knows how to
that's all going proactive
really
and help.
Walk them through the emotional state that they're in.
But that even aligns with the medical industry where nowadays they're much more willing to pay for a colonoscopy versus, anything preventative or anything.
Yes.
To me, that falls in that category.
Absolutely.
And so insurance is then going to be full on board with that.
Especially coming out of COVID. We've seen that with our kids and with us personally. Look at what, I don't want to use the word damage, but look at the damage that happened to all of us when we were isolated for 2 years.
I see it in my kids. I mean,
I see it all the time.
My kids were already homeschooled.
Yeah.
And so the little programs that they did look forward to, like theater.
Yeah.
And
all
that,
was gone.
that got taken away, and it really affected my daughter in a big way. And then her brother was so annoying, which is typical sibling, rivalry and things like that. But she went into a little bit of a dark space. Yeah. And I wish I could have seen it before she went there. And it's just like all the things that situational awareness, we have to be there. We have to be there.
I've been telling people, and this is what I call it. We need to Susan G. Komen mental health.
Yeah.
And what I mean
agree.
by that is the money and awareness raised through the Susan G. Komen for breast cancer awareness. We need to do the same kind of tactics and things for mental health.
Agreed. Yes.
We should be doing walks and wearing whatever color ribbons and doing all that so millions of dollars gets raised by communities every year. And let's face it, we haven't cured cancer, but you know what? You know how much, the success rate and catching it, and we could make the same kind of strides in you look at Alzheimer's. Alzheimer's took the same kind of mindset and have been doing these walks. And guess what? For the first time ever, we're close to a cure.
Yes.
For Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
We're at least at a point where there's drugs that are making the Alzheimer's experience much more delayed. So, so these people are living much longer and everything else. And we need to do the same thing with mental health. We need to and all's on the table. Holistic, to pills, to whatever, everything that.
Well, because everybody's different. You don't know what something that's going to work for me is not necessarily going to work for you.
Western medicine, modern medicine, whatever, all of the table.
If you think about the impact, it's not just the person going through the situation. It's everybody that loves them and cares for them.
Absolutely.
It just spreads. And so now all these folks are going through their own mental health situation based on what's happening to this person. and then that gets taken into the workplace and the stressors and the
Absolutely.
arguments, and it just on and on and on and on and on. So I'm really excited to hear what he has to say about, workplace EAPs versus mental health.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
And then the last group that's going to be talking about, which is another group I'm really looking forward to. So Veronica Moreno, her sister actually works for Workforce Solutions up in Albuquerque. So she was able to pull her in the conversation, and they agreed to have one of the local Workforce Solutions individuals, as well as some of the folks from Albuquerque, come down and start answering some questions like unemployment. What's going on with unemployment right now? We saw such a disastrous amount of false claims during COVID that it was just ridiculous.
And we'd like to hear from independent people on some of this as opposed to people with political agendas.
Absolutely. Agree.
And that way we can get some honest answers.
Yeah. So, what was the ratio of the false claims you found? Right now, what benefits are being offered from the state to individuals that not necessarily maybe hindering them from returning to the workforce, but what is that happy medium between we want to support you, but we also want to encourage you to get back into the workplace? And then what are they doing for employers, not just for the people, but for employers to help us bridge that gap between the unemployed and the jobs that we have available, because we have jobs available.
Sure.
We need staff. We need people. And I'm sure that's true across
It's everywhere. Everywhere
Absolutely.
I go and I travel around the state, and beyond, but specifically in New Mexico, everywhere you go, there's a sign, or you start talking to the management team and they're like, we are desperate.
Yes.
Please be kind. We're understaffed right now.
Right.
And it doesn't matter the industry that you're going into, because it's affecting, McDonald's as much as it is the restaurant industry. You guys,
how many just
Leprino.
locally have you lost services or lost items because they just don't have the staffing to do what they used to do on some of these things?
Well,
I don't know. I go to even mom and pop big businesses.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, let me get this. Oh, we can't do that anymore because we don't have the staffing.
Well, like glass
Man, that
companies.
stinks.
I know of 2 different glass companies that were here between Roswell, Artesia, and Ruidoso that have shut their doors for a variety of different reasons. And so now what?
Yeah.
If your glass door at your business gets blown out for some reason or breaks, where do you go to replace that glass?
Yeah.
Where do you replace the glass for your house?
Yeah.
Something as simple as glass.
We were looking for a fireplace company right after COVID hit, because after, Goliath, and my house happens to be like 130 something years old, we realized, we really probably need a wood stove.
Yeah, we need some heat.
We went to the local place that used to have stoves, and it was gone.
That
It
stinks.
was gone.
Yeah.
And it was just like, so of course
Then you end
we
up
had to
ordering
call-
online and all the things we don't want
We
to do.
ended up having to get somebody to come out from Ruidoso, and no disrespect to Ruidoso, I'm glad for them. Why can't we have that in
I
our
want to support Mom's
community?
Roast receipts. Yeah,
Yes.
not Ruidoso's.
Yeah. So, what are they doing? Because obviously folks are going to them for unemployment. All those benefits that happen, they have to check in with the Workforce Solutions. So what are they doing to kind of send them our way? And how can we better build that relationship between us and them to make those transitions a lot smoother?
Absolutely. And be a business partner with other businesses as opposed to a competitor, which, I get it. Sure, you want your business to thrive too, but let's face it. If you're a fireplace pump company in Las Cruces versus one here and there's nothing here, you possibly can't service your community in this one. Let's see how we can bring your resources here to thrive and maybe help each other out where, who knows, maybe that's the chapter. We expand your business and you bring your chapter to Southeast New Mexico.
So we're doing this first with information.
Yes.
That's how we're doing. That's how we're making a difference, and we're changing things. We're bringing the information. We're bringing these folks for a one-day, half-day conference.
And when is our conference?
Yeah, let's do the details.
March 16th.
Okay, so about a month away.
Right. If you go onto snmshrum.org,
okay,
then you can actually register.
Okay.
Now, it's limited. I think our total seating is going to be like 75.
So the sooner the better.
Definitely the sooner the better. It's going to start at 10, but honestly, we're going to have some perks beginning as early as 9.
Okay.
So you were talking about Ed and Kathy
Food
Cook.
and, yeah.
Ed and Kathy. They're going to be there to provide professional photography.
That's what they do.
So, one headshot, it's a $20 cost, but that's going to be going to the
For
Shrimp
like your
Foundation.
LinkedIn or your
Exactly.
resume, whatever
Yes.
you're using to land your jobs.
Carrie Lee from Casa, she's going to be there to kind of introduce, us into some breathing techniques before we even get started.
Okay.
So we can get
Little
started.
stress management.
Yes. So this is a community effort and a community affair, and it's some really good things. And I'm just super excited to just have been kind of a little bit of a catalyst, but
absolutely
that linchpin that's like, Andrea, how can we do this?
Absolutely. Sure. And we're going to have, if it's not already up on our website, which I think Trace got it up there.
Okay.
You'll
have find a link there.
We will have the link up on our website at roswellnm.org to be able to go directly to the conference, to click on it and be able to
and then while you're
register
there, you
and
can
go.
click some of the other tabs and read more about what the organization does
Absolutely.
and learn more about what they
have-
do statewide.
We've had some great sponsors. Leprino's a sponsor. I'm so proud when I was.
Are they bringing pizza?
No, they're not bringing pizza, but
It's good pizza, by the way.
they're
Yes.
providing for the conference, which I think is absolutely amazing. Hub International is also a conference sponsor, and we have several other material sponsor, bag sponsors. Amaya Printing is going to be providing our bags, which is it's awesome. Then, Paylocity is another one. PVT is another one. So we have a lot of companies that got behind this and said, yes, let's bring this information. Let's bring this education to our community.
They see the value in what this is. Yes.
And with this being successful, then we'll be able to do more and grow that information, because that was one of the things that Jenny and I were talking about was HR is not dirty. It's not scary.
Sure.
It's not that lady that you're like, oh my gosh, see, I have my clothes on. I'm in dress code.
Yeah.
Oh, don't say that.
It's there to work for you, not
because
against you.
there are
Yeah.
tools. When you're naughty, they are going to come and tell
Well,
you
if
you're
you're
naughty.
doing bad things,
But-
there are repercussions.
But
for
there
that.
are
I mean, you
tools.
can't avoid
HR
that.
is so much more, where they do help the employees as well as the employers to be able to grow and get, like, you were saying, get to where you want to be.
Right.
And it's not always with my specific company that you want to be, but how can I help grow you? Right. And then you take your next step somewhere else.
Right.
And
As well.
again, doesn't matter if
Good
you're
habits.
a small business or Leprino or somewhere in between, you're going to benefit from this event.
Yes.
Please sign up RSVP either through the Chamber's website or give out that actual web address one more time.
snmshrm.org.
Very good. And reach out, learn more about the organization. Of course, if you want to get involved, I'm sure
Yes.
volunteering, and I'm sure Jenny here has got some places to help to put you in to help out with that. So.
March 16th, Thursday, March 16th from 10 to 2:30. But of course, doors will open about 9 o'clock, and we're going to be at the Eastern New Mexico University Roswell campus. So come see us. If you have any questions, you can always call us at the Chamber, 575-623-5695, and we will send you on over to Jenny and the SHRM team and get things going. Because I tell you what, there are so many resources between the state and the national chapters that I have just taken, and it's for what I would consider kind of dumb things, but they're not dumb.
No.
But it's not dumb. There are no dumb questions.
And everything could potentially save or
Yes.
enhance your
Absolutely.
business. So, good deal. Well, thank you, ladies. Appreciate
Thank you,
it.
Mike.
Thank you.
We'll see you next time. I'm sure we'll see a bunch
Yes.
more here in the future, and
Yes.
and as more things happen here. So look forward to that.
Awesome.
All right, it's 9:58. Quick break before they kick me off the radio. Don't go away.
Lots of folks are buying used vehicles these days. And they're just as proud of them as if they were brand new. And why not? The pre-owned cars and trucks at Roswell Ford look and smell brand new. And Roswell Ford stands behind every pre-owned vehicle with a 3-day money-back guarantee and a complimentary 90-day 4,000-mile warranty. Roswell Ford has more than 400 vehicles in stock, by far the biggest selection in this part of the state, with new Fords arriving all the time, so it only makes sense to come see us first when you're ready to start car shopping. Speaking of pride, our customers are just tickled with our mobile service van that comes to your home or work and turns your driveway or parking lot into a service bay. We can take care of routine maintenance like oil and filter changes, tire rotations, and battery service, and you don't have to be without your vehicle. Of course, some restrictions apply. For great selection and great service, you can count on your friends at the Tailgate Nation.
This is the owner of Trustmark Roofing, and nothing makes us happier than telling our customers no. As in, no pricing games. We give you a guaranteed price, and then we stand by it. No surprises, no gotchas. No obscurity. We don't just tell you what's wrong with your roof. We record our inspections and show you. No lemons. We install premium roofing materials from top brands like Owens Corning. No shortcuts. We're in the 2% of roofers with the Owens Corning Preferred Contractor Certificate for our local area. This means we offer precision installation and the longest warranties. Want a beautiful new roof that's built to last? Choose Trustmark Roofing, the roofer that loves to tell our customers no. For an estimate, call us at 575-755-ROOF or find us online at trustmarkroofpros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters
State
fun
University
fact.
was Anthony
More than
McCrae.
50% of
By
Americans
people who
fall
are in
asleep.
critical condition, also students. Michigan State University Deputy Chief Chris Rosman spoke with WXYZ.
We have absolutely no idea what the motive was at this point. We can confirm that the 43-year-old suspect had no affiliation to the university. He was not a student, faculty, staff, current or previous.
The shootings inside an academic building and the student union shortly before 8:30 p.m. Monday. It led to a campus lockdown and a search for the gun that ended roughly 3 hours later. Also at townhall.com, in an expert for an